You're watching Suck Professor. Hello, everybody. It's me. Hank. I'm joined by James. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of the Game of Thrones Season 7 Eastwatch. We just finished watching it. We're doing our show here. James, I know it's a terrible start, okay? Yeah. I'm a professional, okay? Professionals don't start over. All right, so there we go. James, how you doing?
Not perfect.
By the way, happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't know that you were among us humans that was born every year. I assumed it was some other weird alien calendar.
This is why I am counting on you to carry us through this episode, because a good friend of mine came by and insisted that I get hammered on my birthday.
James is drunk. He's birthday. No.
I've been way drunker before, but I'm not in good shape right now.
You're not drunk. You're not like, oh boy, I hope he doesn't say anything to the lady at the Quickie Mart.
I'm not super focused is the problem.
Yeah,
and I need to be a honed blade for this so I can get most of my crap wrong.
Well, like a honed blade, you will be a blunt hammer.
Yes, we will find out later on.
One of our heroes.
A huge reveal.
Okay, this is going to be a fun one, everybody. Thanks for finding the channel. Hit us up on Twitter for James's birthday. You know what would be the nicest thing? Follow him on Twitter.
I've been getting notifications on my phone that terrifies me every single time.
At VideoJamesSP. I can't convince him to get on Twitter, but love from the fans and hate from our enemies can. So happy birthday. Tell James happy birthday on Twitter at VideoJamesSP, and I'm at Suck Professor. Also, we're just having a fun time. All right, okay. Let's get to it. Let's get to it before we all die of alcoholism. Okay, so here we go.
I'm way ahead of you.
It's okay. You're gonna be fine. All right, opening shot. One thing that stood out in the opening scroll. There's always little details to notice. This episode's titled Eastwatch, and they
go back for a second.
Oh, all right.
Hello, Newman. Had to do it.
Perfect. You sound just like Jerry Seinfeld.
Yes.
And so they showed Eastwatch in the opening thing. Wow. And it's kind of like carved into the wall. It sort of emerges out of the wall. I thought that was a pretty neat
We had not yet seen that, which is cool.
I appreciate that they go to the trouble to make this.
And we know in a previous episode that they told Tormund to go to Eastwatch by the sea in order to prevent the White Walkers from broaching or breaching the wall, because that's the first place they would hit.
The White Wall, the wall is like, I think it's 18 different castles. At one point they were all manned, or bases, or whatever you want to call them. Eastwatch is the biggest one furthest east. It's sort of the shoreline of the wall over there.
People have speculated, though. Someone said during a comment in one of the last videos, one of the last couple of videos, that the intro seemed to show that the water between Westeros' southern part and the wall was frozen. Okay. So the assumption is that the White Walkers could simply walk right across the water. And I think that would be pretty awesome to see. Imagine them walking across and the water freezing with every step they take.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's cool. I was just thinking, oh, geez, it's so cold that salt water freezes. But no,
it wouldn't make sense for them to be in boats.
Yeah. Maybe that's how Jesus walked on water. He was a White Walker.
Yeah.
Well, he would really more been a brown-skinned walker.
As I've learned from Fox News, Jesus was obviously white.
Santa and
as well as Santa.
Okay, we'll get into the... We're going to do the demented racial politics of Fox News later. And I just alienated about, I don't know, who cares. All right, so there's Eastwatch. Check it out. They got a cage thing. That's where they keep their prisoners or something. But anyway, so it's a little bit more run down than the other, than Castle Black. And so, yeah, we just wanted to show that. There it is right there on the sea. Yep. Now, there is a shot later that we're going to see of the wall. The wall does jut out. Like, this is like the U.S. border, by the way, by south of San Diego. There's like a bunch of fencing that goes out into the ocean. So this is sort of the equivalent of that. But I guess if they walked around it, they'd have to just go, rawr, rawr, brains.
To me, that would be the most obvious thing. We also know that the whites can fall from a considerable distance, collapse into a heap of bones, and reanimate. So they can just jump off the walls. We saw that at Hardhome.
Maybe they can just climb the wall by, like in that movie where Brad Pitt fights a bunch of zombies. You know, the one...
World War Z?
Yeah, World War Z. The zombies in that movie are like fluid. They just sort of flow up.
Oh, that's right. They made their own like ladder of themselves.
But then you got to leave a whole bunch behind. Similar to the movie Ants, you know, when they form shapes with ants. Woody Allen.
Can you imagine if like the zombies could just use wood frames and nerd pull up a wall? That's a 7 Days to Die reference.
James is talking about the video game we're playing on the channel here.
Oh, and that reminds me of something else I should mention. When we were doing our last breakdown of Twin Peaks, I was saying a bunch of crap about Game of Thrones, and apparently people did not appreciate that because it was spoilers. If I do that for Twin Peaks in this episode, remind me and I will shut up.
Oh, you spoiled Game of Thrones stuff.
I did not even realize, you know, I'm kind of new at this as well, so...
Amateur mistake, but
I'm learning.
Done with a heart of pureness.
Yes.
That's why I've always said you're like Daenerys.
So I need your help to stop me if I do it here.
Okay, we'll be careful. And if you do it, we can edit it out. So all right, sorry about that, everybody. We don't want to spoil stuff. That's not the point of this. Our point of this is to do copyright theft.
Yes.
All right, Game of Thrones. This is fair use. We had our own commentary. We're not showing the whole thing.
But if they try and take it down, we will not stand in their way.
No, they can monetize it, honestly, and that's what happened with other videos. They like Westworld, they just monetized our videos, and that's fine. That's the way YouTube works. All right, so there it is. Boom, Game of Thrones, written by Dave Hill. Good job, Dave. Okay, we're insect chirping.
So in the last episode, we ended with Bronn saving the life of Jaime Lannister, throwing himself at Jaime to get him out of the way of Dragonfire before his horses got toasted and flung him into the river, so he escaped.
And he pulls them out. So I don't think anybody expected Bronn and Jaime to die of drowning.
No, I mean, it seemed like he was sinking dramatically just for an artistic sense, but, there's no way Jaime was going to go out like that.
Yeah, they weren't going to kill him that way. That's why I predicted Jorah would save him, because he saved Tyrion from a watery death. However, this opening sequence proves me completely wrong. It was not they saved themselves. They somehow crawled along the bottom or something, or swam or whatever, and they got out. They're all muddy and gross from the mud at the bottom of a lake is like way muddier than dry mud, which is called dirt.
Yes, I was about to say.
But like land mud and lake bottom mud, I've stepped on the bottom of a couple of lakes.
Some people will pay a lot of money for lake mud.
Lake mud.
All over their face.
All over their... Well,
that's called Beverly Hills.
Yeah. You're not even making a gross joke. You're just talking about like the spa treatments and stuff. Yeah.
People will pay a lot of money for stupid stuff.
Yeah. It's like, you can do that for free, or pay me $10. We'll go down to the park. I'll bring a bucket of water and a towel. Come on. So anyway, Jaime's gross and dirty, but still handsome. He's out of breath and sort of like, oh. Bronn, he's losing his hair, but he's still tough. And I bet there's a few women attracted to him. He's got kind of that bad boy sassiness to him, kind of like me. And anyway, Bronn, of course, immediately, what were you doing, dummy? Come on, man. And Jaime, this is an interesting answer. But just to be clear, everybody, we don't have all the dialogue.
Right. Yeah.
I'm tempted to press the print screen button for everything, but that feels like too much.
I should mention also, last episode I said that Bronn was losing me as a fan because he seemed too whiny and too obsessed with money, and people reminded me that he was never officially given a castle. He was never officially given what was promised to him. He was constantly being married off to these other families and yanked away before he could get his exactly what was determined to be his.
Promised to him.
So I am back on Team Bronn.
Back on Team Bronn.
Back on Team Bronn.
All right. Hashtag Team Bronn.
I judged too soon.
Sure. Yes. And well, hey, I forgive you. Just kidding. I judged you.
Yes.
That didn't make sense. I forgave you too soon. Damn it. But Jaime's thought was, if you can kill Daenerys, the war's over.
Well,
might as well do it. But
think about it from his perspective, though. He's the Kingslayer. He slew the Mad King in order to end what could possibly have been a horrific event.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he feels like he can strike at a single target and stop a calamity.
Yes, but he was also completely wrong, because he was about to be turned into barbecue ribs.
And didn't you say last episode that he was attacking the dragon, not Daenerys, and I was arguing that he was attacking Daenerys, not the dragon?
No, I don't think I said, did I? If I said that, I was wrong. He was going after Daenerys.
Okay, maybe we were in agreement.
Why would he attack the dragon?
Because he's crazy.
Yeah, that would make no sense. I would have thrown
maybe somebody else told me that.
I would have picked up some dude's head and thrown it, and then the dragon would have looked like when you fake a dog with a tennis ball, and then I would have stabbed Daenerys.
Yeah, well, this basically confirms his target was obviously Daenerys. Yes. He wanted to end the war.
I don't think anybody thought he was attacking the dragon.
I swear someone said that to me.
He's handsome, James. He's not stupid. Quit discriminating against us handsome men. Me. All right, so you saw the dragon between these. Anyway, Bronn's just giving him shit about how stupid it was that he did that. And Jaime doesn't seem to appreciate too much, but...
he got that line, didn't he?
Yeah, of course I got that line. I love it. Listen to me, cunt. So he basically shows his cards, or makes it very clear what his interests are. He's in it for the money. He's only doing this because he's a sellsword.
Yeah, he's basically telling Jaime that, based on what we've seen, there's no way we can beat the dragons. There's no way we can beat Daenerys. This dragon was insane. There's 2 more of them. So basically, when they come from King's Landing, they're going to take King's Landing, and I'm not going to be there to witness it. I'm out. Yeah.
You people are crazy if you think these dragons, if I'm going to be around.
But you're going to pay me for what I've been promised before you die. Yeah.
So he needs him to keep him alive. So, I mean, I think Bronn does like Jaime and Tyrion. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, this has been the best. They're the best employers he's ever had, is what I'm saying.
Easily,
he's been, even though they keep putting him in difficult, dangerous situations, but in order for him to get paid, he had to keep Jaime alive. So so Jaime's sort of coming to grips with this, the reality of their situation, which is that if one dragon can cause this much damage and mayhem, and they're all in trouble.
Not only dragons, but this was the first time we saw the Dothraki fight.
Yes, that
and
too.
If you recall from season 1, Robert Baratheon himself had a quote that said something along the lines of, "Only a fool would meet the Dothraki in an open field."
Only a fool would meet the Dothraki in an open field.
Yes, that is much more in the embodiment of a quote that he would have said.
Now you do it in Seinfeld's voice. Only a fool would...
Yeah, let's pretend I said that.
That wasn't even close.
What's the deal with the Dothraki?
That sounded like an old man getting his foot run over by a bicycle.
Yeah.
A heavy bicycle.
Yes.
All right, so he's like, she has 2 more, man. We're really screwed here, man. He goes, don't you mean we're folks? And they are. They're folks, for sure. Yeah, dragons are where our partnership ends. So yeah, they this is where he's saying I'm not going to be around. But Jaime knows he's got a bad mission ahead here. He's got to tell Cersei that they are folks because
yes.
He knows.
And Bran was like trying to talk sense to Cersei. You may as well just jump back in the river and drown yourself. It's pointless.
Yes, to Jaime about about Cersei. You said it's okay. So Jaime's thinking, oh man, now he's gonna have his what do you call her? Sister wife? I mean, they're banging. Are they dating? Do they say they're dating? Are they just in love?
She's not so much keeping it a secret anymore.
Yeah, she's all proud of it. She's yeah, we'll get more to that later too. So I thought this was kind of a cool shot, a solitary man staring at a lake. I've always wanted to do that. All right, so then
knowing the dragons are still out there, I'd be hiding myself.
Yeah, I would retire.
Yes.
So ashy, heap of wasted. Everything's fucked up. I got a hand right there. You know what this actually evoked in me, James? It evoked thoughts and feelings about Pompeii.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3, the video game, which is also about scary, desolate wasteland places. But the ash everywhere, the humans sort of frozen in their final poses.
I mean, it absolutely has that same effect.
And if you really look at this shot, I just am noticing this now. This guy hid behind a shield.
Well, the shield burned away.
The shield burned away, and he got turned into a sculpture. So, yeah, that's... but Tyrion is sort of observing all this.
Exactly. What was the advice that Tyrion gave to Daenerys when Daenerys suggested using her dragons as a weapon of war early on? He said, "Nobody. I mean, what's the point in ruling over a kingdom of ashes, or something along the lines like that?" So we know that Tyrion was opposed to this idea from the start, and he is now seeing his very fears come to fruition.
Yeah.
So he is disappointed and horrified by what he's walking through. This is not what he wanted.
No, it's not. But I don't think he's surprised that they had to use the dragons at least once. I mean, you know what I mean? Like
But he advised against this. He did.
No. There's a difference between dominating the continent with the dragons and doing it once. I'm not. I agree. He advised against this. This is his worst, but his worst fear is the whole place getting torched. Everybody in the big cities getting torched.
Every great torching begins with one torching.
Yeah. Well, what did you read that on?
This is called a gateway torching.
Gateway torching. But you see what I'm saying though? Like they killed an army in a supply train or supply wagon, whatever you call that. So it's not quite like a bunch of a whole populated city got blown up. Leave that to Cersei. No, I mean, she's a terrorist.
She wasn't torching innocents, basically.
Right. I mean, yeah, these guys didn't necessarily deserve.
And does he know his hair's on fire?
That guy right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a style.
Yeah.
I did actually like that the Dothraki guys are picking the corpses and sort of like putting stuff on their arms and grabbing swords and stuff.
I mean, the Lannisters were a rich people.
Well, you ever see those, like whenever there's a big battlefield and there's all those bodies, it's like, wow, look at all those cool swords that are now for free.
I mean, that's the problem with like you in Skyrim. It's like you will go to the battlefield and automatically overburden yourself instantly by picking up everything.
That's me.
Leaving all the corpses naked.
I'm famous for leaving corpses naked.
Yes, you are.
It's my thing.
That's why you're never invited to funerals.
It's why the judge banned me from going near prisons and graveyards.
Yes.
Why did I say prisons? I meant to say graveyards.
People die in prisons.
Yeah, but that's not the point. Okay. But, the dragons are terrifying and horrible, now the Dothraki have prisoners and stuff, so now they're marching them off somewhere.
I didn't recognize them as prisoners at first because they're covered in ash, and I couldn't see the standard red color of the Lannisters, and then I realized, okay, clearly they're armored, they're not Dothraki, they're obviously Lannisters.
Quite clearly, yes. And I'm also sort of feeling sad about all this lost olive oil that they lost. All this olive oil, it's gone, James.
I want to know how Tyrion kept all the ash off of him.
Well, he stayed
like a fan blowing on himself the whole time?
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's like a music singer. Cool. All right, so, but yeah, he is... about the whole Tyrion realizing his worst fear or whatever. He is kind of coming to grips with the power that's available to his boss. And that he brought this... He helped facilitate these deaths of his countrymen. I think he's having mixed feelings about the whole thing.
Right, he's happy about a victory, but he did not want it this way.
Well, yeah. Or, yeah, kind of like...
He's worried about the message this might send to the rest of the country.
Could be, yeah.
The rest of Westeros.
I'm sure he's having a lot of
Westeros a country. Yeah.
It makes sense that his loyalty is not shaken, but he still has to deal with kind of feelings about what he has helped do to people that grew up.
Let's read his feelings in the next screenshot.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Let's read it.
I'd like to see a Sopranos.
There we go.
There it is. Oh boy, I wish my beard was the same color as my hair. More on that later. Yeah, although it would be like a funny Tyrion in therapy with like the Sopranos therapist. Okay, so Drogon screeches. So they're actually bringing all the prisoners up to this thing, and this is amazing. This is cool.
It's like a dragon roost almost.
Yeah. Pretty much, literally. There's Daenerys. She's having a little meeting there where she's going to give a speech, going to give these guys a thing. But I love that she's always got this like, look at this thing, this fucking weapon of war right behind her. It's really funny. So there's not much you can say or do when this is the person.
Can you go back one screenshot real quick?
Yeah.
So do we see anyone here that we recognize yet? Not really.
Nope.
Okay, no one we recognize.
Nope. Generic extra. That guy looks like Christian Bale's younger brother.
It looks like this guy right here looks like a very young, what's his face?
Calm Meany from Stargate SG-1 DS9, Deep Space Nine.
I was going to go with Pierce
Brosnan.
No. What's the guy's name?
Piers Morgan.
Yes, Piers Morgan, the British guy.
That guy's a real doofus.
I know, a lot of people don't like him.
A lot of people have good taste. Okay, so look at her hair. These guys are all thinking, I bet these guys would look good with mascara. Yeah. Let's get them some mascara.
They all have eyeliner.
They do have eyeliner, but that's all right. It makes them look like Johnny Depp, which is terrifying. But Tyrion's kind of watching it all go down, and she's saying, look, I'm not the evil woman that you all think I am, that I'm not here to destroy everything. You can come at me. The dragon's burned off this poor kid's hair. Where the fuck does his hairline
that's
start?
Furioso from Fury Road.
Fury Road, yeah. He's got a mechanical arm. Where's his hairline?
That kind of freaked me out as well.
It just goes, there's no like, what the fuck? Man, that is weird. Yep. Okay.
Whereas the guy next to him has too much hair.
Which guy? This guy here?
Yeah.
It's
he's
like,
got
hey,
helmet hair.
Save some for the rest of us. No, but he's got shaved hair. It's just weird.
It's very odd.
Yeah. Well, he's dirty. He's got some schmutz on his head. Maybe it's. I was going to say something about Ash Wednesday, but then I started laughing, which made it sound like I was thinking something funny, but it wasn't.
All right, so she's basically saying that I'm not the enemy that Cersei Lannister has made me out to be.
Right.
I do not want to come here and destroy you. I do not want to kill you. I do not want to murder you. I am coming here to fight that which has rolled over the rich and the poor, the wheel she refers. I think in a prior episode she said that she has come to break the wheel.
Something like that, yeah. She wants to be loved by her people, not just rule over them with fear.
But she understands that to be an effective ruler, you have to have a heavy hand. So she says you can either bend the knee or
die.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, which I tell James every day whenever I try to get him to come with me to McDonald's. To the benefit of no one but the Cersei Lannisters. Yeah, so she's honestly, it's kind of a populist message almost in a way. It's like, you guys keep sacrificing yourselves and your families and your fortunes and your farms for this rich lady, and what do you get out of it? Nothing. You just get all your buddies burned up in a fire by me. Mm-hmm. Another rich lady who's gonna fucking kill you if you don't swear your loyalty to me. So she does give them a choice. She at least does. I mean, I guess this is what you call benevolent. Back then was, you can either work for me or I kill you.
I mean, her father would never have done that.
No, he wouldn't have given him a choice at all. He would have, So, but they didn't even bother cleaning the blood off their swords. Aren't those things going to rust?
Let me try and get this right. Her father was Aerys Targaryen.
Yeah. Okay. And Rhaegar was her grandpa?
Her brother.
See, I got to read about it. I always get those wrong. I think
I'm thinking of Aegon.
Well, it gets confusing when they're all incestual. All right, how about some regular sex between people who barely know each other, like the rest of us? Together we'll leave the world a better. So yeah, she's making a case. This is her politician speak. I'm glad modern politicians don't do that. Join me or die.
And there's a very distinct moment right here where it's racking focus from Daenerys to Tyrion, where she says the words "to die," and he almost cringes as though that is not something that he would accept, fluidly.
Yeah.
But it's something that he understands why she would do it, and he's not going to interject and try and stop her.
Right.
It goes against his morality, but he comprehends the need for it.
Exactly. Well said. Oh, well said. So these guys immediately Oh, okay, all right. I'm bending the knee. I'm doing that, which I thought was
And
funny.
I want to stop you on this shot right here because
Yep.
this shows two very important people that we didn't see before.
Yep, these guys on the right. This
Yes.
guy here who looks like who's he look like? Mark Ruffalo, if he wasn't Mark Ruffalo.
Yes.
That's
Or
him.
we could be talking about Randall Tarley and Dickon
Oh
Tarley.
my God, there they are. It's Rickon and
Dickon.
I know. I'm being Jamie there. Yeah, that's Sam's dad and Sam's handsome brother, the one with got the good genes. Yeah, they're in they're captured.
So they did not get killed in the battle. They are being brought before the dragon for judgment.
Right. Yep. And you can see him because he's got his tiny head there poking out, and there they are. So these fellas are not having a good day. They're in trouble. But a lot of them do bend the knee. What would you do, James? What would be your response?
I would be bending both knees.
Yeah.
I would bend each knee 12 times.
I would not only would I bend the knee, I would bend my elbows.
Yeah.
I would do this. I'm doing my elbow bending, and then I would bend my knees, and I would move my neck around, and I would bend my toes, and let her know that if she needs anybody to help murder my friends, I would round them up. No, I wouldn't be that guy, but I would try to feed the dragon. That looks like it'd be kind of fun. Look at that thing, man. Look at that guy. What a monster. They showed a lot of up closes on the dragon in this episode.
It's played by Sean Connery, right?
Yes.
I'm the lost one.
I'm the lost one. Yeah, Sean Connery. And then, of course, Drogon has to weigh in and go, roar! Would have had subtitles that just said roar. Or just or like, please, I insist. You must, I appease to your greater nature.
Right. So is this the part where she commands them to bend the knee? And that certain people bend a knee, but others remain standing in defiance.
And then,
the roaring of Drogon basically forces them out of fear to give in.
It's persuasive, that roaring.
Yes.
It's very persuasive. Like, oh, Jesus, they're not screwing around.
But noticeably, Randall Tarley and Dickon Tarley do not bend the knee.
And some of them stay standing. These guys are stubborn. It's gonna get you killed there, dumbasses. But, wow, he's tall, huh? Well, he's on a rock, too, I guess.
Yeah. And the irony of it all, though, is that Randall Tarley was loyal to the Tullys for centuries. I mean, not him personally, because he's not that
House
old.
Tarley was.
House Tarley. So he was so quickly willing to give over his allegiance to the Lannisters for the promise of power and money, and yet now he is defiant in loyalty to the Lannisters.
Right, and loyalty to Westeros. Because he does. We do hear from him here in a little bit coming up because they ask him, you know, and this is
Tyrion makes that exact point.
right. She wasn't your queen. What are you doing? You just they just destroyed House Tyrell for all time, and like now you're with them. Like what the hell? What do you could your allegiances are flexible.
Your allegiances are somewhat flexible.
Oh, good one. Whoa, hey, is Peter Dinklage in there?
Yeah, I was not going for that.
That's all right. It's okay. I'm terrible at it too. Don't worry about it.
I'm drunk and terrible.
Drunk and terrible. Well, I'm terrible when I'm sober, so that's terrible. Say what you will about your sister. She lived here. So this is Tarley is making the case like, you know, you're a foreign invader, and at least I'm staying loyal to somebody from Westeros who's been here her whole life.
But he's saying that you murdered your. Let me try that again. You murdered your father and you left to support a foreign invader.
Yeah.
He's not calling him a foreign invader.
No, I mean,
but to
Daenerys
the
is
credit,
the foreign
I would have stood up and said Daenerys Stormborn was born here. She is native to Westeros. She was forced out of Westeros by Robert's Rebellion. Was it Robert's Rebellion? I think it was Robert's Rebellion.
I think so.
Yeah. So I would make the point that she had no choice but to leave or flee her birth home. I mean, that's a very unfair assessment.
Yeah, but she brought back an army of dudes that are from there. It's like, if I went to Canada and came back with a bunch of Mounties and tried to take over the LAPD.
Savages.
Yeah, they are.
I hear they eat human hearts.
I hear they'll try to persuade you into being kinder and more patient. Yes. Man, I wish I could join Canada. All right, Canada. Okay.
You will bend the knee to Canada.
Yeah, I will bend the knee to put on my snow boots to Canada. Although not for long, Canada's eventually going to be tropical. So the way shit's going,
every day Canada looks better to me too.
All right, so perhaps you could take the black. You're great. So Tyrion's trying to save the Tarley advice. Like this is the rich guys looking out for the rich guys, being like, hey, maybe you don't want to kill the dude. He's connected. He's got a bunch of problems.
I mean, Tyrion.
Because no, hold on. The houses always seem to protect the houses. There's a little bit of class preference going on here, I think.
I think Tyrion understands that he's a nobleman who's doing what he believes to be noble and what he believes to be right. So he's saying that rather than unnecessary bloodshed, you can send him to Castle Black.
Yeah. Right.
And he, Randall Tarley, in defiance, says that you cannot send me to the wall, for you are not my queen.
And this would be the same thing that he did to his own son, Sam.
Yes.
So he would be, in his mind, he's thinking, I'll be joining my stupid son, the one I hate. up at the wall? I gotta go work at Taco Bell with my loser kid?
Not necessarily, because he knows that Sam is no longer at the wall because Sam joined him for dinner before leaving for the Citadel.
James, why don't you shut the fuck up? All right, so anyway, these guys are unfailing devotion to Daenerys, so they immediately move in to perform the execution, right?
Yep.
And we're thinking they're just going to chop their heads off.
And good old Dickon starts saying, "Hey, wait! Don't be the only one, Daddy."
I am Dickon Tarly. You cannot look how tiny my head is. Yes, I know it's because his armor makes his body bigger, but it's funny that he has a tiny head. But anyway, he comes in. Kind of, he refuses. He refuses to bend the knee as well, and that means he knows what he's facing his death. Tyrion says, "Well, how about we just jail him up, and then maybe they'll change their mind." And she's like, "Nope, I'm not beheading anybody." And I gave them a choice. They made their bed. They're gonna lie in it.
Daenerys basically says, "I'm the breaker of chains. I'm not here to put men in chains." They had their choice. They chose what they chose.
Which is another way of saying, I don't want to have to afford to pay for all their food and shit.
Yes.
You don't have to feed a dead man. You only have to feed a dead man to the worms.
Right.
Another fortune cookie quote. And that's horrifying. Oh God. Oh boy. Oh boy. So he's realizing what's about to happen.
So once again, Daenerys is going along a path that Tyrion is advising strongly against, but he is not standing against her.
No, of course, yeah.
He has no ability to stand against her. Right. He's simply the hand. He's an advisor. She will do what she does.
Well, do you think Tyrion's eventually going to have like a crisis of conscience or something? I don't think he will. I think because she's not evil. I think she'll kill everybody.
Right. I think Tyrion is quickly learning in his new role under Daenerys that diplomacy is not the panacea of all problems. Being a ruler means that you need to do things that will make you uncomfortable. So keeping order and keeping power means that you have to do unspeakable things at times.
Yes, it seems to be certainly in this world, in the Westeros Game of Thrones world. All right, so anyway, she gives her a little speech. I'm Daenerys, the House of Targaryen. The Dennis the Menace.
I'm Dennis Rodman of House Targaryen.
Yeah, the House of Targaryen, first of my name, fourth of the thing. I went to the school. I graduated from, Notre Dame. I went to the thing. I won the Whirly Ball Championship. So she gives the whole thing. And now here's what's strange to me, though. Okay, well, let's get through the moment here because it happens real quick. Drogon knows what's up because he's tuned into his mother, and she says Dracarys, and guess what happens? Grah! They turn him into ashes. In fact, the way they showed this was these dudes, they just become like a pillar of ash, and they just sort of crumble down. Oh, look at that! Is that a final?
That is cool.
A final smile. Must be thinking about his first kiss. So this is where they kind of crumble, and they just kind of collapse into a pile.
Yeah, directed from Dragonfire, incinerates you to the point of ash.
That's right. No more edible food, which I think is a waste because she could feed her army with it. But what stands out to me here is, okay, I guess, well, some guys are still standing. I suppose there's some standing guys right there. But wasn't the whole point that she was going to kill everybody? Who
I know.
Okay, now they all need.
Other people had not bent the knee yet.
Okay, so they did finally. So it's basically, I'm going to cook your bosses and anybody else that's still standing, but nobody's still standing. All right, so that sort of answers, because earlier there were still other men standing, but she only brought their bosses, which I think is like, that's nice. You kill the leaders. Right? I mean, that's how that works.
Better to kill the few to spare the many than the other way around.
That's goddamn right. Better than killing the many to spare the few, which doesn't make any sense. It's nice that no matter what, you got to kill.
It's not a decision I would like to have to make, but that's the weight of the crown.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so sad times. So Tyrion's sort of figuring it out that he's she's not mad though. She's not like her father or grandpa, the man.
No, she is not Aerys Targaryen.
Aegon. Aerys.
Aegon is the granddaddy of the Targaryens. Aerys was the Mad King.
Yeah, I knew that. I was going to say that, and I hope people don't point it out in the comments that I actually don't have any idea what's going on. All right, so Jaime's gone home. He didn't even bother to stop at the car wash to get a rinse. He's back at King's Landing. Qyburn is going up. My lord, he's the little evil dungeon
Qyburn
guy.
just wants to hit him with a hose before he goes in the door.
My lord. Oh, be careful, my lord. I just had new carpeting installed. Jesus Christ. Queen, Cersei. Look at these candles, James.
Good distraction. She says, how many men did we lose?
Yes, and he doesn't know. They haven't done a full accounting because it's hard to count ashes.
Well, he's like, I've counted on as many hands as I have, and I would guess 5.
Yeah, we've lost 5 plus 1 gold hand. Yeah. But all the olive oil is gone, which is sad too. That's really bad.
But we do know that the gold that they got from Highgarden did successfully make it back to the Iron Bank.
Right.
The Tyrell gold made it to Essos Nation.
Indeed. So they do have the Iron Bank support, and you know, but he's basically, this is where he gives her the bad news. Like, look, lady, we're fucked. I saw the Dothraki. There's no way we can beat them. They'll beat any army. Because she said that they'll hire mercenaries, and Jaime's
right,
like, yeah,
because she says
kill mercenaries.
We have the backings of the Iron Bank.
Yeah.
They will help us to buy mercenaries, and we will replenish that which we have lost. They won't be our men, they won't be our preferred soldiers, but they'll do the job.
Yeah, yeah, and they're apparently pretty tough to defeat. He knows that it's going to be impossible. Not to mention these dragons that are killed 1,000 wagons.
Killed 1,000 wagons.
You know, they're not alive anymore. That's for sure.
They weren't alive to begin with.
What do you details?
But we're talking Twin Peaks Ghostwood here.
Hey, watch for spoilers.
That's not a spoiler. That's a 25-year-old spoiler.
All right, they couldn't stop it, and she has 3 of them. Oh yeah, he says the Qyburn's bolt thing didn't even do
yes,
it. Yes,
Qyburn's scorpion.
So are they going to come up with a bigger scorpion, maybe, or something else? I think they should use nets. Throw up big nets.
I think by the end of the last season, Jaime's going to be firing a railgun into the sky. Dragons will be exploding.
I was thinking, like, what happens when one of these people figures out electricity?
Yeah.
Then there's someone who's going to invent machinery. Then they're going to turn into us here on Earth.
I mean, if they were smart, they would poison a bunch of goats and let the goats go around on the hilltops. Dragons eat the goats, poison the dragons.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Poison, not only don't just poison goats, poison everybody who lives around.
Yeah, poison a dude and have him charge the dragon.
Yeah, but no,
poison the mountain. That's a big meal.
A sacrificial guy. Yeah, for sure. Brilliant. James, you are now my right hand of the king. Right, so he's like, we can't win. We're screwed. We don't have dragons. They do. We're done. And the father you betrayed and murdered. See, I get confused when I read the
you don't know
screenshots.
what's going on.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, do you?
A little bit.
Well, go. Now's not the time to be quiet. Yeah, this is her saying something about Tywin's death.
Making a reference to Tywin, how Tyrion killed Tywin.
Yeah.
And Tyrion was let free by Jaime, and therefore Jaime is therefore responsible indirectly for the murder of Tywin, their father.
By way of apology of murdering our father and son.
So she's saying, what should we possibly do? What do you expect us to do? If we can't win this war, do we plead to the kindness of Tyrion for him to speak in our behalf, to betray Daenerys, to act in our behalf? No, that's not going to happen.
Right, right. But then Jaime is like, well, since we're talking about Tyrion, guess what happened? The old lady told me that he didn't kill her.
Yeah.
So he finally reveals it was Olenna that actually killed Joffrey.
But Cersei has her suspicions because she says, was it before or after you administered the poison?
Yeah.
Which kind of surprised me because I was always assuming that the poison was something Jaime brought in his own accord that Cersei was not aware of. I was thinking that Jaime was going to poison her out of kindness and tell Cersei that she met a horrible fate.
It turns out Jaime seems to have persuaded Cersei to let him give her a merciful death.
Yes.
And she obviously knew that was how she was going to die. But she's a conniving person, and so she immediately presumes that Olenna, who is also conniving, was actually pulling a fast one on Jaime with this whole poison thing. So
made a false confession because she was already doomed.
As a way of kind of needling the family by creating more stress about Joffrey's death.
One final wrench in the gears.
So she doesn't think, she's like, Jaime, you're naive for believing her, you dummy. But he actually makes a pretty persuasive point. He says, which one do you think she would have had her granddaughter married, to Joffrey or Tommen? Who would have Marjorie been able to...
He's establishing a very significant, very plausible motive for Olenna to have killed Joffrey.
Yes. He's basically saying Joffrey was a savage monster, and the other boy was a sweet guy that would have been easily swayable because he liked to get it on with her and stuff, and he was a nice kid. And and Cersei can't even deny that. She's basically like, oh yeah, you're right. Shit. So she's like, she was telling the truth. And then Cersei sits down. She's a little mad, and she's dead like her son.
I should mention something. I watched a very, very compelling and very interesting video.
One of my videos? Thank you.
Yes, it was one of your videos. No. But no, it was talking about Azor Ahai and the very this very slim possibility that the Azor Ahai could possibly have been Jaime Lannister.
Azor Ahai being the chosen one
the
of
prince
the Lord
that
of
was
Light.
promised.
Uh-huh.
So the wielder,
that
the wielder of Lightbringer, the Sword of Flame, the one to come back to draw the darkness back against, to kill the White Walkers, the warrior of prophecy, basically.
Of the Lord of Light.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they were saying that there's a very small possibility that Jaime Lannister himself could be Azor Ahai, based on a couple of things.
All
One
right.
of which being that he now possesses a sword, Widow's Wail. And what do we know about Widow's Wail?
It's Valyrian steel.
Right, not just any Valyrian steel. What kind of Valyrian steel?
The good kind.
It was made from the same sword that Oathkeeper was made from.
Ned Stark's big sword.
Which was called?
Oathkeeper.
Which was called?
Ice.
Ice, yes. So if you were to basically...
That's short, though.
If you were to assume...
Full name was Ice Ice Baby. Dun, 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 dun. Go ahead.
Now I got the song stuck in my head.
Guys, hold me tightly.
What?
Flow like a hoe and daily and nightly.
Flow like a harpoon daily and nightly.
never...
stop you, I don't know. Turn on the lights and I flow.
Turn on the lights and I glow. To the stream like a can do. Let the dome that jumps like something.
Dance.
Like a play a dope melody.
Anything less would be less than a felony. Anything less would be less than a felony. Love it or leave it, I bet I can't wait. Benefit.
Fuck.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
But imagine him rising up as Azor Ahai and his sword exploding into flame. What would that mean? It would be, and they say that Azor Ahai would come back with a song of fire and ice. A song of ice on fire.
Sure.
That could be that.
The blade ice, that's...
And the prophecy that Tyrion also said was that there will come a day where your joy will turn to ash in your mouth. And that has haunted her ever since.
Okay.
And the video I watched from a very smart person who I didn't pick up any of this.
Give him credit. What's the name? You know the name?
I don't, but I will look for it after the video.
Well, I don't care, so I'm not going to put it in.
But they're saying like perhaps his hand could erupt into flames and he could strangle her with a hand, and ashes could produce from her mouth, because in a last episode, well, the previous 2 episodes, she was standing on the map.
Okay.
You remember that shot where
Yeah.
Jaime was standing in the water and I made a bad Jesus joke?
Yeah.
Where she was standing what was essentially the neck of Westeros. And
Right.
he was standing next to the islands, or the coast, in which was called the Fingers. And the prophecy that was told by her by the Wood Witch and originally when she was a child is that a term was used that relates to a younger brother.
Okay.
Will kill you.
All right.
And the younger brother she always assumed was Tyrion. But even though she's a twin sibling of Jaime was born a couple of minutes after her.
Sure.
So he is still a younger brother. So it leads to the theory that he might kill her.
With a burning hand, with a flaming metal hand.
Okay, and there was that, but there was also another prophecy as part of it that I thought was really cool that this video showed me that I did not pick up on myself again. But it was like the original Azor Ahai basically forged the sword that became Lightbringer in 3 ways. First, he forged it in water, but it broke. And then the video cut to the scene of when he was in the water with Brienne and he emotionally broke. So, kind of, okay, whatever there,
right,
whatever.
yeah.
The second time...
We all cry in the
second
water.
time, he pounded a hammer against the sword for 50 days and 50 nights, and then he shoved it into the bosom of a lion to try and cool it off. But even then it broke.
Classic
a
move.
lion representing a Lannister. And then the third time, he hammered the sword from night and day for 100 days, and then he plunged it into the bosom of his wife, and her soul imbued the blade, and it erupted into flame, and that's how it happened. So imagine...
What did she do to deserve that?
Yeah, she didn't make the muffins fast
I mean,
enough. I don't know. But I'm imagining him shoving Widow Wail into Cersei and having that erupt into flame. And at the same time, Brienne's sword doing the same thing because it was born from the same source as...
All right, yeah.
So that was the video I watched. I thought it was very, very compelling. I will look for the credit to give it to Hank so he can put it in the...
I'll definitely link to the video if you find me the video.
It was very cool.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it a lot. But that's what he said.
All right, yeah. I mean, it would make kind of a poetic sense since he killed a king to prevent the death of many. He might end up doing the same to his own sister.
Well, he saw his sister commit the very crime using the very exact same wildfire that he killed a king to prevent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I absolutely feel as though Cersei is destined to die by the hand of Jaime.
There's something going on there.
I've been saying that for a long time.
That's what's nice about the vagary of this ice and fire, which are just two opposites. Just two, it's like Paula Abdul in that animated, Wolf or whatever.
2 steps forward, take 2 steps back. We come together because opposites attract. It was Scat Cat.
Scat Cat. Yeah, MC Scat Cat.
I was a big fan of Scat Cat.
Yeah, me too. I think it's about time for a comeback, and I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson should play Scat Cat in the upcoming film. You hear me, Hollywood? Don't steal that idea. Don't steal.
I had the single cassette.
I've got a script. Dwayne the Rock Johnson is Dwayne the Scat. Scat is actually poop.
Yes, it
okay.
is.
So I didn't mean that sounded like making fun of Dwayne. I like Dwayne the Rock. He's one of my heroes.
Oh, by the way, I promised that I would not be a prude and stand in your way of making scatological human jokes.
Well,
so
wait,
let it fly.
Yeah, all right, that's good. Yeah.
Every time I say Dracarys, you will come forth with horrible jokes.
He said, "Come." All right, here we go. If we don't find a way out of this war, we'll follow. So basically, saying we're all gonna die. We're fucked here, lady. We're totally cooked. And she goes, "Not as long as we've got bowls of grapes that we never eat." Figs, dates, and grapes and plums, right, James?
Oysters, clams, and cockles.
You ever have an oyster? They're gross.
No, they're disgusting.
Ugh, it's like eating a salty sweat.
I had one, and that's how I made my opinion that it was.
I didn't mean to say sweat. I meant to say loogie. It's like someone like snockered into a fucking shell, and
you will find
put
no arguments
put it on your
here.
plate with some ocean water. It's gross, and it's expensive. What the fuck? You get 8 burritos for those prices. All right, so Drogon screeching. Okay, so anyway, there they go. They have a nice little staring. He's like, okay, sorry everybody. That's why people don't like me on this channel here. Jon Snow. Oh, look, the moon.
Yay.
What is that a clue? What? Although I do wonder about the astronomical configuration of this place. So what causes these seasonal changes and stuff? That's interesting. But anyway, let's
the last time we saw Jon Snow,
look at all this dragon.
Hold
on, dragon poop.
Yes, he was at Dragonstone. He was mining the dragon glass, and Daenerys had disappeared. She had ridden off on her own to attack the Lannister army. So she is now returning, and he is witnessing her return.
And Drogon has been doing squats. He's gonna put that shit on Instagram and get like 1,000 likes. More than any other king. So anyway, the dragon lands with Daenerys on top. This is her lift. She just got an Uber home. What if her dragons were named Uber, Lyft, and
Can you imagine calling an Uber and it says Drogon will be outside in 3 minutes?
So she's watching this giant dragon icon swimming around the map, eventually getting there. Although it gets lost, it's at some other castle. All right, so anyway, she lands and she, wow, that is so cool. I can't get enough of the dragon. I don't know what it is. Maybe because it's the coolest thing ever. By the way, I was thinking about this, James, side note here. What would be a mammalian version of a dragon? So this is a reptile. Like the peak reptile is like a flying, fire-breathing reptile. A dragon would be an ape. A gorilla that has, so basically a dragon with arms. Rawr!
Well, a dragon technically has arms. I mean, they have wings attached to them.
Yeah, God damn it, I got outsmarted again. Fuck. I was just thinking, like, what would be a mammalian like thing like this? Like, we don't have that version.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah, it's true. What if the Drogon had a tattoo over here?
And he arches his eyebrow.
Yeah. It's, know your role.
Can you smell what the Drogon is cooking?
So there's a great shot. Look at that guy.
Oh, so this moment is very significant because Jon stands before Drogon and does not cower in fear.
No.
This is almost like Jon subconsciously recognizing that he himself is a Targaryen. He himself is a ruler, a king. He can stand before this great beast and calm it.
Yes. Also, the beast is it's dialed into Cersei's will, so she's not intending to kill anything right now. So the dragon is docile.
It's dialed into Cersei's will?
Not Cersei, Daenerys.
Oh, okay.
Daenerys. Yeah, I
didn't got me confused there.
Yeah, that is confusing. It's dialed in this. It's like when she says Dracarys, like it knows what she wants it to shoot. Like like when he killed the Tarlys. Like what if the Drogon thought he meant kill the other guys or kill
if she screamed
Tyrion?
Like fondue?
You'd boil up some fondue
or ice cream.
I could go with some fondue right now. But so she's kind of pulling the dragon back in a way, but also the dragon he's only domesticated to his mommy, Daenerys.
Yeah. She almost looks surprised by the events that happen after we get through the interaction of Jon and Drogon.
And there's definitely probably something to what you're saying, though. I'm not trying to take that away at all.
Because there was never a time where the dragon has basically bent the knee to someone else. In the sense that...
To use a loaded phrase.
Yes.
Yeah.
A dragon has never become subservient to another person other than Daenerys.
And Jon... Yeah, right. And Jon takes his glove off. This is like when you meet a dog. You let the dog smell your hand just so he knows you're not... Well, what do we do? Like, we all do that, right? We're all like, okay, smell my hand.
Yeah,
That's how you get the dog's approval. to let you touch it, or so that you're not like somehow it's conveying that you're not. So he
That's
sort
what
of
my
does the same
uncle
thing.
used to always say, "Smell my finger," so I wouldn't know not to be afraid of him.
Yeah, yeah, and then you would pet him on his head.
Yeah,
or he would pet you. How does that work? So who's smelling who? Okay, but anyway, Jon reaches out. Look at these teeth coming out of the gums. It's like this. Hey, Daenerys, you're not taking care of your pet. Take it to the dentist and have him do something about these excess teeth.
It had to be painful coming in.
Get him some rawhide. Get him some chew toys. Chew down on those things. You know, maybe like you ever see a horse dentist? You know what they do? They put a metal thing in the horse's mouth and then they file down their teeth with a big fucking metal file. It's crazy.
This is very similar to my dentist.
Yeah, that's why.
Which I visit on Tuesday.
It explains why James has metal U's on his bottom of his feet. That made no sense. Why am I talking? Okay, so Jon reaches out and he's sort of compelled to touch the dragon, kind of in a petty way. Now you could tell the special effect here. It was not.
It was well done, I think.
It didn't look like he was touching the dragon to me.
I was worried that he would slip and he would just go elbow deep into the nostril.
yeah. He just gets his hand caught in there. Like, oh, okay, sorry. Oh, shoot. Oh no, it's moving around. Don't. Like when a car falls on your brother. So this is pretty intense, though. This was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty. I thought they should have done like a booger fly out of the dragon's nostril, like, kind of lands on his coat right there, but Jon just shrugs it off. He's like, "Whoa, boy, this dog is friendly," you know. And but they get some cool shots of the dragon's eyes.
I love the eye is almost like flames itself.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, or like the Milky Way galaxy, or like some kind of. But I imagine they model it after lizard eyes.
Absolutely, because it blinks like, not vertically, horizontally.
Makes that like wet clicking noise.
Yeah. No, it does blink vertically. I got that backwards.
Yeah, it did. I don't know.
The eyelid is configured in a vertical fashion.
Right. Eyes are amazing. I think it's insane that we all have eyes.
Okay.
I don't know why it's insane. It makes sense, but he blinks. Aw, this is him. James, this is me when I find out someone has had a bad day. Oh, I'm so sorry. But Jon is, handsome and a little scared, and she's also
surprised.
watching. This is her falling in love with Jon.
Sadly, yes. Aunt and nephew love.
Yeah. Yes. Incestuous. That's your term.
Go for it. Run with it.
No, I'm just saying part of the bond she has with her dragon and showing that her dragon is kind of like cool with him is like, it's like if I was going to date somebody and she had a dog and the dog didn't like me, that's probably a deal breaker. Well, my dog doesn't like you. There must be something wrong with you, you fucking bald tall guy. You know, that happens every time I date anybody. No, that's not true at all. That's not true. But our neighbor has a bird. And that she's and
the bird hates you?
No, the bird loves me. The bird goes, wah! when it sees me.
Is it a bald eagle?
No, it's that macaw. It's that macaw that makes it, he's cool.
The one that sounds like a robot that terrifies me in the middle of the night?
Yes. Okay. He's got broken bones. He can't fly. He'll never fly. Because I petted him and I broke his... No, I didn't. No, he was like a rescue bird, whatever. But he'll live like 80 years.
The bird's never rescued anything.
He's rescued my heart. No, I'm saying the bird take a liking to me, and that makes... the neighbor, why am I saying this? But I'm just saying, they might go on a date. I think they're going to have a good time. They're going to In-N-Out Burger. They'll wait in line for 40 minutes for a bird. No, her and Jon Snow.
Okay.
Not me and the bird. Me and the bird. I'll never make out with a bird. Their beak is, their tongue's not long enough. All right. So anyway, so she's seeing that like they have kind of a moment, but he's touching the power of something truly magical here, and it's like pretty impressive to him. So he might say he fingered the dragon.
Right. I think it would be a misstep to say that there's not some sort of a deeper connection made between Jon Snow and Daenerys in this point. Again, I don't want it to happen, but it's unmistakable that it's happening.
Plus, they're both attractive. That's why they should hook up. Okay, so the dragon takes off and flies and just and so she rates him 5 stars, gives him a $5 tip because she's generous.
Just imagine how ticked off Jorah Mormont would be if she went with Jon.
Well, he's an old fart. Get out of here, old fart. I mean, I'm going to be an old fart soon, and I'll lust after youth my whole life, I'm sure. But you got to give it up. Eventually, you just got to beat off the Pornhub and call it a life. Yeah, I'm going to die alone. I know I'm going to die alone. All right, so it wasn't the word I was thinking of, but
she called the dragons beautiful.
Right. Yeah, she looked
and then
up.
Jon starts screeching.
It's not the word. Yeah. But he's like, it's not the word I was thinking of. I was thinking of dragon.
No, he's thinking of beasts.
Yes, beasts.
She says, I wouldn't call them beasts. They are my children.
Right. Gorgeous beasts. Gorgeous. She's like, no matter how big they get, how terrifying everybody is, they're always going to be my babies. Although she did stop breastfeeding just like a few weeks ago, so her nipples are still a little raw. And I have she goes, ooh, I can't wait till these nipples heal. You ever have one time I went running for a long time and then I had a bloody nipple, and no, that's pretty much the end of the story. All right.
No, that has never happened to
That
me.
happens. Nipples bleed, especially if you're a little bit fat because your titties jiggle.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, it also happens if your shirt bounces too. It's friction, man. It's just physics. Come on, just physics. I should have run into a physics classroom and showed everybody. All right, so taking Winterfell back from the Boltons. Anyway, they have a moment of talking about the fucking...
Well, she asks, how many
dragons.
men did you kill taking Winterfell back from the Boltons? He says thousands.
Yeah.
And she says, as I have fewer enemies today than I did yesterday. She's
Right.
justifying her actions and taking Drogon out to take out the Lannisters.
Right. Because it's almost like the dragons are like chemical weapons or nuclear weapons. It's like, oh, you use this power, this tool,
This overwhelming force.
that nobody else has access to. That's not fair. But she killed a lot. He killed a lot, but he got a lot of his own people killed in killing a lot of people too. So that's where she has some that. And so, but she's like, yeah, well, look, they both are sort of similar. I think I do see a lot to like in these two. They're gonna have beautiful kids.
One might say fire and ice.
Ooh, perhaps so. Sometimes strength is terrible. I think that's an important line because weakness does not rule this land. You must be strong and terrible. And only kill the minimum number of people. I think it's essentially she's just trying to kill the minimum. She has to kill. She only wants to kill the minimum. I think that makes sense, right? Sir Davos said you took a knife in the heart. So she starts to wonder about that, what's going on, and he doesn't lie to her. He doesn't, but he...
Well, he doesn't admit it. He figures that would be sort of like a Debbie Downer statement to say.
He says Davos has an imagination or something like that, but he doesn't... He doesn't
openly deny it.
No, but before he would have to explain it, because he doesn't seem like he would lie.
Someone interrupts.
He's saved by the bell here, and the bell in the form of the Mascara Squad. And so they walk up, and were you surprised by this reveal?
I was surprised it happened so quickly.
Well, everybody teleports in this show.
We have to know that things will happen quickly because there's so few episodes left in the entire run of this series, including next season.
Right.
So things have to happen quickly. We can't wait another 5 seasons for something to finally come to fruition. Things have to move quickly.
True. Yes, right. And so anyway, we look, this guy's carrying a sword. That's an indicator, isn't it? And of course, it happens quickly. It's Sir Jorah Mormont,
who has since cured himself by Daenerys's direct regal command, in which he went to the Citadel to try and find solace and medicinal help, which he found in the form of Sam, who cut the grayscale off of him. Now he is returning to service under Khaleesi.
He's healed. He's just got a whole body full of scars, and now he's back. And she's happy to see him. Oh, he is my friend! Yay, he's back! And so they have a nice little moment there. It's kind of sweet. She introduces Jon Snow to Sir Jorah, and Jon's like, "I worked with your father. Hey, he was a good dude. I like him." At the wall. That's right. Look at his hair. I don't know why. He looks kind of funny right there. He looks like a guy, like a clown without makeup on, doesn't he? Don't we all look like clowns without makeup, James? Isn't that the truth about us all?
When a clown without makeup is just a person.
We're all 8 pounds of white makeup away from being a fucking clown. And 1 pound of red makeup, because they had to do the lips and the things around the eyes and stuff. So you found a cure, yay! I return to your service, my queen, and I still have an old man boner for your young 20-something body. Maybe she's in her late teens, I don't know. Of course, in the book, she's like 2 years old. Yeah. Everybody in the book is about 14 years younger. I'm exaggerating, but anyway, they have a hug.
This is a hug of faith because she doesn't know for certain that he's cured. He doesn't know for certain that he's cured, and yet they still embrace.
They still embrace. I said while we were watching this is like when there was that Ebola scare, and Obama went and hugged one of the first Ebola girls.
Yep, and then died a week later.
And Obama died. And it's been Robot Obama. No, but that was it's an important thing for a leader to do. Not that she's doing this in front of a bunch of people. They haven't invented cameras yet.
I feel like Trump would be in a hazmat suit with Secret Service surrounding him, and he would be poking the person with a stick.
He'd launch her in a catapult into the ocean.
Yeah.
But just say, you can't go make it political. I was just saying that's a good thing to do, is to show that, okay, I'm good with touching you right now. Let's touch. And so I don't think I'm going to get your thing. But that she definitely did not smooch him on the scar tissue. All right, so
John's all mad. He's like,
what are you doing? You're my new girlfriend, cousin. He doesn't know that yet. But no, he's not actually. Look, I think that's just the screenshot right there. He happens to have that face a long time because he's had a terrible fucking life filled with horrors and trauma, and he probably needs therapy. Bunch of crows, aka ravens, which are basically like crows that work out.
And as the eagle-eyed person would notice, the raven's eye is in warg state.
Call me hawk-eyed.
Yes.
Hawkeye. That's my favorite superhero. Is Hawkeye anybody's favorite?
No.
Does anybody give a shit about the Arrow guy?
Nope.
He's worse than Scarlett Johansson. Those what the fuck? Where are both of them in?
Black Widow's superpower is guns.
Yeah. Yeah, she reads a Guns and Ammo magazine, and he has a bow and arrow. But she's cooler than he is.
And they're paired up with an unstoppable green being infused
Hawkeye.
by gamma rays, an immortal god from...
I mean, come on.
I mean, it's ridiculously
Tear those
stupid.
pages out of the comic book. Get out of here. All right, sorry, that was all right. So anyway, as the Hawkeye noticed, as I did, and I think you noticed too.
Eagle-eyed, I said.
I changed it. As the Sparrow-eyed noticed, their eyes are milky, kind of like James when he drinks. He's being warged. No, you're not. Your eyes aren't milky yet. So this one goes milky.
Yep.
So they're all getting issued orders here. It's like they're all being their software's getting updated. And then they all take off, and we kind of go, "Oh, we see what's happening here." Oh, look, they even put some veins in the eyes there. That's pretty cool. Let's give it.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I think I read on Reddit, possibly, or someone told me that the actor is able to roll his eyes back, so they don't need to use special effects.
I'm doing it right now. I can't do it. Are you doing it? It's hard.
I can't do. I've got contacts in that would screw me up if I tried that.
Yeah. It puts your contacts backwards in your brain, and then you'd have clear vision.
I prefer not to do that.
All right. So anyway, this was an amazing sequence. I thought this was really cool. This actually made me think of Peter Jackson, famous for directing the Lord of the Rings films.
And back in the 50s, The Birds.
And The Birds. He directed that movie.
And then Alfred Hitchcock was so mad that he thought of it first.
That's right. So anyway, we get some cool shots. Well, I thought about the way the camera kind of floats over these big snow-capped mountains. I thought that was kind of... Because you see a lot of that in the first shots of Lord of the Rings.
Bran was the first drone pilot.
Yep. Yeah. You know what? That's right. Yeah, that's right. This is basically lucid dreaming in a way. Mm-hmm. So later, he's worked into this little flock of crows.
And this is clearly Eastwatch by the Sea, as we saw from the opening credits.
That's right. So it's sort of like carved into the side there. It's pretty neat. So that's how they get up.
And we were warned that the White Walkers would be coming for this place first.
Yeah, this is the bathroom, by the way. This is where they go poop, and the poop rolls off to the other side. So there's just a giant shit smear, kind of like the one on our Constitution right now. So there they go. Yeah, the crows are flying past the Eastwatch, and graw, graw. I keep calling them crows. Damn it, ravens. Well, Jon Snow him and his old buddies are all crows. So I'm getting confused.
You just call them blackbirds.
No, like that's the Beatles song. I want to call them ravens. So there they go. They're flying over. They're going past it. They're going over. Oh wait. There's a shot of the water. So this is. Did I not get it? Damn it. This is the jutting thing that I referred to earlier. That it juts out into the water. Like part of the wall extends past the land, which I think is pretty nice. So there they go, beautiful looking sun and stuff, and they get wintry, snowy, and then they come over a little hill.
A massive army.
An ocean, a sea, a river, I'd say, a glacier. What, a glacier is just a melted river, right? No,
a glacier is a frozen.
Yeah, frozen river. Not really. That's not exactly.
Well, in the next 20 years they'll be melted. But
yeah, they're all. Well, they slowly. Okay, all right. So they're. Anyway, this is the Whites, the White Walkers. They are. Man, there's a lot of them. The army of the dead. Brains. What if they all said brains at the same time? Brains. They don't say brains. I just think
they all do the Thriller dance.
What if they just liked a different organ, like kidneys? So the Thriller dance. That's funny. I wish I'd laughed at it in a more appropriate time for that one. And so the birds are flying over, and we do see. Well, I just wanted to find... So the leaders were sort of staged on this little set.
Right. They're typically on horseback. The White Walkers themselves.
But they were up on this
set apart from the Whites.
Set apart, but they were standing atop this little rise, little land rise. But then this is similar to when Bran was spotted by when he had visited this land, right before he initiated the attack on that tree.
There's been a lot of speculation the Night King himself used to be a Stark who had warg powers himself. Therefore, he, with his newfound powers as the Night King, has an inherent ability to detect and recognize when someone is warging near him or using three-eyed raven powers near him. Yeah. He is always aware when he's being watched by Bran, and he's always able to strike back.
Yeah, he's not the king just because he's good at Excel spreadsheets and setting shit up and being an organizer or whatever the fuck. So anyway, I didn't get the shot of him turning his head. Damn it, it happened quickly. He turns his face and looks right at the camera, which turns out to be the crows. And the crows all disperse. Like, shit. Oh, fuck, ravens. I mean, sorry. We're ravens. So they all run off. I think maybe he turned off the wording. Same thing. So there they go. That was interesting, though. And, of course, it snaps Bran out of it, and he's back at the weirwood tree. These things are basically the routers of Westeros. These are the hot spots. These are the Wi-Fi signals. It's the strongest when you're by a weirwood tree. So Maester Wolcon, is that his name? This is a new Maester. I might have gotten that right. And anyway, Bran's a little freaked out. and he wants to let everybody know. So this is showing his use, though. I mean, I think we're going to see him being used in other ways, like warging into giants, maybe, or other animals. Perhaps one of Daenerys' pets.
That was my initial thought. The problem, though, is that no one really knows who he is. No one knew who the Three-Eyed Raven was. So despite the fact that he's bringing very valuable information, getting people to understand the validity of it and to believe it is going to be a hurdle.
Okay, I just took a sip of water and I have an ice in my mouth.
An ice?
Yeah, I only had one of them.
You mean an ice cube?
Well, when I fart, it'll be fire and ice. All right, so Bran doesn't really... I mean, Bran is like, shit, we gotta tell everybody. And then we cut to somebody being told about it. These are the Citadel fellas, the old... Archmaester gang here. They're having a little meeting, bunch of snooty intellectuals. We don't need knowledge, we got our instincts. So no, but these guys are the smart guys, and they're all just talking. Sam is doing his attendant work, whatever it is that he's doing, delivering stuff, bringing books and carrying them around, and so he overhears them talking about, oh boy, we got a little kid says that there's a dead man coming from the wall. Do we believe this or not? And one guy is very skeptical. He's like, yeah, that sounds like a bunch of bullshit if you ask me, huh? So we ought to write back, Sam. Brandon. And then Sam immediately pipes up.
Well, Sam interjects saying, are you speaking of Brandon Stark, basically?
Right. And they're actually remarkably tolerant of his interjections. He seems to do this a lot. And they're usually like, oh, all right, well, what does the intern think? Like, they're not, they could go, Sam, go fuck off, Sam.
He did just commit a medical procedure or accomplish a medical procedure that they themselves are too afraid or unskilled enough to do. So
true.
There's got to be some sort of respect floating around for him at this time.
And my brother's an academic. I mean, he's not mean to his undergrads or his graduate students. My brother's a professor. Like, he wouldn't be shitty to one of his graduate students. Like, fuck you, go clean my chamber pot, you stupid bitch. Yeah. My brother's a neuroscientist, everybody. I like to tell people that because it makes people think I might be smart.
No, my sister's a drug addict. It makes people think that I might be as well.
Well, come on, you are not. Not at all. Maybe your brother and my sister should date. I mean, he's got a family. He's really happy.
I would not wish that upon my worst enemy.
All right. We don't want to beat up on your sister. She's got a tough... Whatever demons she's fighting is a difficult one to go on there. All right, sorry, that got really weird and intense.
I feel bad for those demons.
Well, they'll get addicted. Okay. So I let him through the... So anyway, he knows Bran. He's like, yeah, years ago. So a lot of time has gone by here. I think that's kind of... I don't know. Just this... It's easy to forget how much time has gone by, even though Bran has gone from being a cute little boy to being a big-headed teen.
It's weird watching the show on a binge basis after you spent weeks waiting for it and months waiting for new seasons. Like when I watched the Red Wedding episode, doing a binge watching with a friend of mine after I was fully aware of what the events that unfolded, the swiftness at which the Purple Wedding comes after the Red Wedding is staggering.
What's the Purple Wedding?
It's where Joffrey dies.
Oh, is that what they call that? The Purple Wedding?
Purple Wedding.
All right.
So it is so swiftly followed by that, but when you watch it in the normal progression, it feels like years afterwards.
Yeah.
So time does compress when you binge watch. So when you see this out of context, imagine it this way though, when this is all said and done, nobody else is going to experience it the way we're experiencing it right now. No one else is going to wait a week between watching each episode on their streaming service or their Blu-ray. Right. This is not going to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
So we have a completely different take on things.
It does affect the way you process the time jumps and stuff. Yeah, for sure. But anyway, so Sam is saying, yeah, I knew these guys, not the Night's Watch, not the no one. So he's saying nobody believes, right? Or wait, what is this talking about? I don't know. God damn it, I'm all out of sorts here. But everyone in Westeros trusts. Oh yeah, so he's basically saying like, you guys, you have a lot of influence. You can do. If you tell people this is real, they'll believe it. If you advise them to send the Lords North, they will do it. Like you actually have a lot of control here because you basically can influence all the maesters who are the primary advice givers in all the different kingdoms and stuff. So to search every word of every fated scroll so he's saying like you could get everybody working on this. We need everybody. There's
we could save Westeros as we know it if we all band together right now and work as a single unit.
Sam's problem is manpower. He knows there's reams of knowledge surrounding them, but they don't have the eyeballs to sit through and sift through it all and look it up. They don't have Reddit search. They don't have ask.metacritic.com.
He can't just OCR all the scrolls and do a search.
Yeah, he can't OCR, exactly. They don't have Ask Jeeves or Alta Vista like we do these days, the most valuable websites on the planet.
He can't pivot all the information.
Yeah, and I found it on Khazar Light. So pivot tables. Is that what you're getting at?
Sure. I live for the pivot.
I'm glad I don't know what those are. It's one of the few things.
You're missing out.
Yeah, I am missing out on life because I'm... anyway, all right. Army of the Dead for good. He's like, we could deal with this, but we need your help. And they're kind of like, well, yeah, maybe, but it's also possible this is a deception here. This could be employed by the Dragon Queen to get the armies to go north to open them up. So that
well, basically, if they march north, it leaves all the lands south unprotected, so she could fly in and do what she wills.
Right. So he's basically saying we need clarification. We're not ready to make a decision. We don't really know. These guys are pretty reasonable. They're not driven. Their ideology is the truth and logic. So they're kind of like Switzerland. What does that even mean? Sweden? They're sort of like...
Just don't say Slovenia.
Was that a Twin Peaks joke, or was that...
No, I don't know what that was.
I said something about how bad is Slovenia, and somebody got really upset about it. I wasn't even shitting on Slovenia. I was shitting on Donald Trump. It's not... I don't care about Slovenia. I don't care. I don't have any beef one way or another. If anything, I have a bias towards... I like stuff that I don't know about, because I give it things the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure Slovenia and the various vampires that live in the castles of the hills is a great country.
That might be Transylvania.
Same difference. All right, so...
Not that they have vampires, but the mythology.
But they have Hugh Jackman running around with blades and a hat and going, stab, vampire, fight, crossbow. Okay, so where are we at now? Okay, so they basically say, all right, Sam, get back onto your work. Go clean out our chamber pots.
So they dismiss him, and then they immediately start talking about the news that they learned that befell his family, Randall Tarly and Dickon Tarly. And the Archmaester says, I've not even, informed him of that because,
Well, after Sam leaves.
I said after they dismissed Sam.
Yeah. Is he the one whose father and brother were just burnt alive?
Yes.
Yeah, this is him talking about Sam. Yeah. Right. So, So Sam doesn't know that.
And I don't think Sam would care too much. All Sam would know is, hey, now no one's chasing me down for the sword that I stole.
Yeah. I don't know. No, come on. Sam has to care if he finds out.
Sam seemed to care about his mother, not so much about his brother or his father. I don't think he would be too distraught to learn that news.
That's a fair point, but when you find out whether you had a good relationship with your dad or your brother or not, and you find out they just got murdered, and that their death means that your life changes because you're going to inherit stuff, maybe, or at least it would give him a claim to that to the Tarly title, and then to become the new king of the Tarlys or whatever, if that's even possible. Of course, he would care. I'm not saying compared to his mom, because that's a good point. He did seem to be more.
I think Sam has his sights set on bigger things now. I think he would be happy in the sense that he now knows that Gilly, who lives at that place, well, not she went to the Citadel, but now he knows that he could send her back there without fear of discrimination.
But the fact that they're withholding this information from Sam means they know he would care. So
they think he would care, but they don't know the relationship between him and his father.
Yeah, I know, but.
I don't think
you're oversimplifying. You can still grieve. You still have an emotional response to the death of a parent you didn't like. If anything, it'd probably be more.
I think it would be more relief than grief for him.
I think it'd be a mixture of both, but it would be grief followed by relief.
I think it would be relief followed by relief.
No. That's not how humans work, man. Humans have this, because in my opinion, this is just bullshit, but grief is a biological response. It's like you can't not go, and that's why when you don't grieve properly, whatever that even means, it bottles up and it can come out in weird ways. It requires you to fall back on your coping skills to get through a difficult, challenging time. The thing is,
Randall Tarly as a general and as a person in general, to use that term again, seemed to be a decent person. As a father, though, he was a monster.
He was a piece of shit to Sam.
He was an absolute monster.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that anything other than that, but he would still have feelings about his dad's death.
We'll see.
It doesn't mean good or bad. It just means feelings. It just means something would come out because someone dies like that.
Yes, and relief is a feeling.
I agree. Grief is not a negative feeling. Grief is just it's a process. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. Because it's a sudden shift in your world, and things change, and we don't handle change.
Sam is so
That's why
focused.
Death is traumatic for one among many reasons.
Sam has way bigger fish to fry right now, though.
Right, but if he could command the Tarly household, maybe he can send the armies. He can deal with the Lannisters.
The armies that just got fried?
Yeah. Ash monsters.
Yes.
Yes. All I'm saying about grief, I'm just saying grief is a... fuck, I just lost my train of thought. Damn it. Oh, sorry. I know it's a waste of time because it's not even having anything to do with anything. Grief. All right, we'll just keep going. All right, so moving on, slurping. So now we hear some.
So we see the same sigil on this Raven message as we saw in the prior message at the Citadel, which we know that this is the Stark message that was sent by Raven. That the same message is being received by multiple parties. Just
real quickly, props to Varys for great fingernails. Look at these things. Those things are beautiful. They're nicely cut. Back then, I mean, shit, people nowadays in our world have a hard time keeping their nails not looking like disgusting.
He's got one less thing to groom, too.
Even his hair? Is that what you're saying, James? Are you making a bald joke?
That's exact. No,
you fucking making, is that why you're saying bald people have nice fingernails? Yeah, that's one of the many stereotypes we bald men have. The other one is we have big dicks and more testosterone than everybody.
Not Varys.
Well, how do you know it doesn't mean it's not big? It just means it's not attached.
Yes.
Maybe it's sitting
it's living in a farm upstate. It's running free through the fields.
Yeah, with a bunch of other retired dicks. Or it's on a skewer somewhere. It's on a shish kebab on his fireplace. Yes, I have it. Yes, that is my dried up penis. Would you like to hold it and spin it around in your fingers? All right.
Notice
maybe you get it hollowed out and turned into a Chinese finger trap.
See, I'm not stopping you.
Yeah, that's okay. No, I know. Yeah, okay. All right, so that's why they're rulers. I don't know.
Slurping.
I don't know.
Why'd you go back to slurping?
I press back sometimes. I don't mean to. Not burning him alive alongside his son. Who's he talking about?
So essentially they're talking about what just went down with Daenerys.
Yeah.
And Randall Tarly.
Oh, the Tarlys. That's right. Yeah.
Right. And, they're showing that they are not exactly aligning with the methodology that was used. Tyrion allowed it to happen. Varys is not on board with it.
And this is his coping skill. He's a drunk. He's an alcoholic. I don't think they use that word, but he loves his booze, and he's had a stressful day. He's just all this stuff he's processing it in his head, and he uses drinks to feel better, and also wears a pinky ring when he gets upset.
Right. And Tyrion basically said it wasn't me who charred these people to death. And Varys reminds him that Varys served for Aerys Targaryen. And he said that when I was Hand of the King, essentially, I don't think he was Hand of... Maybe he was Hand of the King.
I don't...
But he used that...
Just an advisor.
He used that metaphorically, saying that when I was in a similar position, I told myself the same thing. That when I used my spy and my intelligence to root out traitors, it wasn't me who was burning them to death, who was torturing them and ending their lives. It was the Mad King.
Right.
But in essence, it was him.
Yeah, he brought the information. I just noticed something, by the way. They have matching pinky rings. Mm-hmm. What the fuck? Why are they wearing matching pinky rings?
It's how they summon Captain Planet.
What's going on with this? Did they get a discount? Is it something to do with being an advisor to Daenerys? Could you imagine if your boss made you wear a pinky ring? It's bad enough that my boss makes me wear a wedding ring. I married my boss.
Yes.
I would love to marry a boss.
A pinky ring would fall off very easily.
I never understood men that to get it sized properly. You don't take a toe ring.
What was that?
That was my phone making a noise. Get out of here, phone! I threw it into my pile of laundry that I sleep next to. I was gonna say real quick. Some men are like, "Oh, I couldn't handle being married to a woman that has more money and is more successful." I'm like, "That's my fucking goal. What are you, crazy?"
That's why you marry a woman with more money than you divorce and you take her money.
No, you marry for love, and then you live until you're both old, and then one of you watches the other one die of choking.
While your hands are clasped around her neck.
No, come on, that's horrible. Why did you say that? That's terrible. Jesus Christ.
I am a little drunk.
You are a little drunk. Wow, the truth serum is working.
I was thinking about Jaime and Cersei.
Oh yeah, that's right, with the ash mouth thing.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. But why are they wearing matching pinky rings? I think that's very weird. I hate to see what they've got in their pants.
Well, he doesn't have much.
Well, there's got to be something there.
No, Kindle.
How do you know? Have you seen it? Depends on where they cut it off.
I'm saying he has a Kindle.
How much stump is left?
He has an Amazon Kindle.
Did they flatten it to the earth, or did they... An Amazon Kindle. Good one. Yes. All right. I'm not the one... But Varys drinking is... I don't think he's a drinker. I don't think it's his thing at all. But he's sort of still...
He's using the experience that he gained through his interactions with the Mad King to advise Tyrion that Tyrion taking no blame for this is not a wise thing.
Wait, it's not wise for him to take no blame? Why should
Right, because he is responsible at the end of the day. He is the advisor to the Queen, so that despite what he advises her to do, what she does is blood on his hands as well.
Yeah, but I don't think he's telling Tyrion to take no blame. I think he's basically saying, I understand what you're feeling right now because I felt similar to this. He's consoling him.
Right, but he said that the mistake that I made was that I decided to take no blame, which means that he needs to be more persuasive.
Why is that a mistake?
Because he feels guilt for it to this day. And he said, I think he's trying to tell Tyrion that he needs to be more aligned with Daenerys, more persuasive to Daenerys, to get her to adhere to the morals that he sees fit.
I don't know. Blame is something you do after the fact. It's not. He's talking about coping with the process, not changing the outcome.
That'd be a pretty crappy advice for coping, though.
What?
To say, oh,
to blame yourself?
Yeah, I told myself the same thing.
That's because that's not what's happening. He's saying, it's like my friend hurt his back and I had to go help him, and you know what I said to him? I said, I hurt my back once too. I know what you're going through right now. And that made him feel better. And then his back was still in tremendous pain, and it made no difference. But you still do that. You go, yeah, you know, oh yeah, your fucking mom died. Yeah, my mom died too once. You lie. You gotta lie to make people feel better.
I didn't read it that way, but
no, I get what you're saying. You might be right. Who's right? Everybody in the comments, let me know. Is James wrong or is Hank right?
And this particular scene I thought was great because you missed pretty much 90% of it in terms of the screenshots.
What?
But he mentions that there's a scroll here that arrived and it was addressed to Jon Snow, and he says, "What does it say?" And Varys looks at him and says, "It was addressed to the king in the north."
Yeah.
And then as if to say, "Of course I didn't read it."
Yeah.
And then Tyrion presses him and goes, "Well, did it say anything good?" And he's like, "Nothing good," which admits that of course he read it. He's Varys. He's the spider. He's the master of whispers. Of course he's going to read it.
Indeed. He's the spider. They should call him the master of spider eggs. Ugh, gross. What if they laid one in your ear and you have spider eggs crawling around in your face at night? I mean, babies, not eggs. Babies are grosser than eggs. All right, so there's Jon Snow reading his letter. Everybody got the same note pretty much. Yeah, so this is also a big moment for him to find out Arya is alive and that Bran is alive. I mean, this is a big deal for him. Yeah. This actually gets him to want to go home. But also has to reveal like what's going on with the Night King here. I never noticed that they had painted the table blue to symbolize water.
It does look like that, or it could just be the lighting, or who knows? But it does look very much so like
lighting does change stuff, but this is absolutely blue. That's certainly blue going on in there. Yeah, he's basically saying, look, now we're getting even more information. We've got intel, and the zombies are coming, man. And you better be worried about this. He goes, I got to get back. I'm going to fight them. And she goes, you don't have enough men. And he goes, I'm going to fight with the men I have. All right, that's all. The only choice we've got. Yeah, so I don't know what this is about. What's this? Oh, and Cersei's or Tyrion's like, maybe there's another way. Here's something else we could do. Cersei thinks her army does nothing but a story. So what we got to do is prove it. We can prove her wrong. We got to bring evidence. We need to make her believe it, because some of them's like, yeah, she's not going to go up there. What are you, crazy?
Yeah, at first I thought that he was going insane because he said to bring the dead to her. I thought he meant literally bringing the army of the dead to King's Landing, at which point once they march across the farmlands and the different kingdoms and that lead to King's Landing, their armies would be so massive based on the people that they would absorb and take into their wings on the way along there that they would be unstoppable. But that's not what he's suggesting.
Not at all. Nope. And I didn't think that. I just assumed he meant get a, because remember my whole thing was, hey, how come Jon didn't bring a bone?
Well,
how come he didn't bring a bone?
I mean, the problem is that they all seem to be psychically linked, that the Night King can see through the eyes of any given white. So I think that bringing one of them to King's Landing would be a huge mistake.
Oh, yeah, that could be. Yeah, maybe. Well, but it might, it'd be like sending a scout down deep, so he'll get a lot of intel out of that. I've used the word intel twice now. I think I'm going to use it again a little bit later.
They would have, King's Landing would have intel inside.
That's right. To release all her pentium up emotions. Get it?
And then when the white hits Cersei across the face, she would be megahertz.
Ah, well played. And then Drogon's going to take a gigabyte. Yours are way better than mine. I'm not even. All right, so let's run a Castle Black beyond the wall. Anything you bring back will be useless. The moment we said, I don't know. I'm just reading the subtitles right now.
So essentially, what's happening is that Tyrion is suggesting that they need to convince Cersei through any means necessary that the threat in the north is a greater threat than anything she thinks is important at the moment. So she's saying we could propose an armistice at the time to get support from Cersei, but in order to do so, we need to convince her. Yeah. And to convince her, we would have to first convince Jaime using Tyrion, because Jaime is the only person that Cersei listens to. Yeah. And he says that is true as long as we don't get murdered the moment we step foot in the capital. Right.
Well, this part actually is saying, like, if we go meet them straight up like we normally would during peacetime, they're going to kill us. Yeah. So our only option is if Jaime, Tyrion meets Jaime secretly and gets Jaime to, because like you said, he's the only one that she listens to.
Which is an enormous gamble on the part of Tyrion.
Yeah. By the way, good business lately for the chess piece carving business, local guy or gal, whoever does that. Someone got to carve up some dragons. That's pretty fun. You know, the New Order.
I mean, the dragon was always there.
It's like one of those shoe stores. These dragons were already here?
I think they were already there.
I don't believe that. Maybe they were because this is Dragonstone. Maybe they had them in storage or something. Yeah. But I don't remember seeing them on the tables.
I thought I'd seen them, but...
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure you haven't. Okay. Oh, fuck. I can smuggle you in. Oh, and so he's a smuggler. That's what he does. It's his thing. But I'm warning you. I'm not a fighter. No, we all know that. We all know that, Davos. You know, knuckle having motherfucker. He's got no knuckles. I don't know because Stan's cut him off. The fingers, I should say.
So Jorah Mormont steps up and volunteers his services to the Queen in order to go north and capture a White Walker and or a White.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'd be amazing if they got a White Walker.
And I think they're going to bring Benjen back. I'm just going to say that now.
Okay.
Even though Benjen's previously said that he was forbidden from passing beyond the wall due to a magic ward.
Right.
But maybe they'll find a way.
I think that my prediction is that Jorah is going to get killed and turned into a White, and so they're going to return with a White. It's going to be somebody that they know.
I think they'll be incredibly effed up considering that Jorah just got cured of grayscale. Leave the man alone.
I think George R.R. Martin is a sick son of a bitch, and he's willing to do that to somebody in the show because he murdered Sean Bean at the end of season 1.
Sean Bean's contract says that he must die before any project is done.
All Sean Beans must die. That should be the slogan, the logo. Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. We're going to see a little bit more about their whole journey north. But Jon is actually offering to lead the raid, and as the king, this is crazy. Kings don't do this.
Yeah,
this is crazy. This is nuts. So, but you know, Jon does have experience. He does make a good case. He has fought them before, so he kind of knows the lay of land.
And the one thing he won't say is, "I have the only sword that can hurt them."
That's true. You should probably point that out. Yeah.
But now they've got a crap ton of dragon glass, so they'll be in better shape.
Oh yeah, that's true. Good point. Yeah, that's right. So he makes everybody's persuasive in this show. He's like, I came here a stranger.
Well, no, he's singing Linkin Park. I put my trust in you.
Is that?
That's a very famous Linkin Park song. The guy who committed suicide very recently.
Oh, the guy committed suicide?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's a bummer. Way to ruin that story. Yeah. Well, all right. I trust you. Lyrics.com. How come Lyrics websites haven't been updated since 1994? Have you ever been to one? They're fucking terrible. I don't know why they have to be any better. I put my trust in you, a stranger. So he's saying, I came down here not knowing if you'd kill me, not knowing, but I trusted you. I'm asking you to trust me. So you got to trust me now. And they have earned some respect for each other. Plus, they both have boners for each other, which is kind of fun. So now I'm asking you to trust me. And she looks at him and goes,
she screams stranger danger and says Dracarys.
Dracarys. And then Drogon burns his white van. And all the candy inside melts.
Well, for the first time, she seems to look at Jon as an equal here. And she's not looking at him as though she's trying to rule over him, trying to get him to bend a knee. She looks sympathetic. She looks as though that this is someone that stands on the same footing.
Right, right. I think she's got a crush on him.
She looks humbled in this.
Humbled, yes, humbled. Yeah. Adams, yeah.
Her caterpillars
are
at
talking about, but yeah, her caterpillars. These things on her head, these two caterpillars are like it's like Romeo and Juliet. They'll never love each other.
They love each other greatly, but they shall never touch.
Yeah, they'll always be just separated by the width of half a caterpillar. Mm-hmm. Unless maybe she could let it grow in, and then they could finally have caterpillar babies that would crawl all over her forehead. Okay, so God, caterpillars are disgusting, aren't they? I hate them. No, they turn into butterflies. Everybody loves caterpillars, except when they're crawling around on your mom's corpse. The king in the north should stay in the north. So okay, so now we get back to Winterfell. We got a little bit of politics going on here. A bunch of the lords here.
Sansa was left in charge.
Yep, she's doing that. Arya's watching things go down. But these guys are basically like, what the fuck? They want to know what's up with Jon Snow because he's not around, and you know they're just sort of frustrated. I think they're just expressing their frustrations.
All the people in Winterfell now, pretty much the people who came together to support Sansa, to support Jon Snow, the King of the North, to take back Winterfell. So you got the Knights of the Vale, you've got all the loyalists to Starks that remained.
Yep.
So they don't want to sit here and just have complete inaction. They want to actually get stuff done.
Yes. Yeah. But Sansa basically says, Jon's our king. What do you want me to do? Come on. She doesn't really... She's hearing them, but she's not giving them what they want. I'm not even sure what they want.
Right. But she's not standing up for Jon either.
Right. That's true. Yeah. And so then we expect to sit and wait for him like ghosts. Arya kind of starts causing a little trouble, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
James is yawning.
I've had a long day.
I know. I told you to get that water. Water will help you just, not that water keeps you awake, but you know, it's better to sip on something. He trusted you to hold it for him. She's basically saying like, you're not really doing a great job here running the show, Arya. Being a little judgmental. Kind of.
You're not doing a great job, Arya.
Well, I mean,
Arya.
Arya. Oh, Arya. A-R-E. Yeah, I get it. It's good. He trusted you to hold it for him. But Sansa's like, why should I have to explain this to you, you little bitch? What the fuck's up with this? Well, he's not making it easy. The Northern Lords are proud. So this whole scene was... Oh yeah, there was this moment where they walk in and she's like, yeah, it's mom and dad's old bedroom. But it's got to be weird to sleep in your parents' bedroom.
Yeah,
you know,
I would imagine so.
After taking over, you know, they got all their old orgasms.
Well, I mean,
ghosts are wandering around.
No different to Sansa.
Not that parents have orgasms. I think
she was probably in this room when Ramsay was doing his crap to her.
Oh man, maybe, yeah. Jeez. But you know, you probably order a new bed, new mattress or something. Maybe change the logs in the fire.
You know the shipping time on those though.
Yeah,
they don't have Amazon Prime back in Winterfell.
Oh, these are the kings and queens. They had Amazon Prime. They got there's the mattress smith down the street next to the blacksmith and the cardboard box smith. All right, so Arya's like, "Are you angry with me?" They were insulting Jon, and because they're getting a little bit snippy at each other, which is fine. They're both sort of strong-headed and strong-willed. I guess they're not gonna not speak up when they see something they need to get into. She's like, I did my job. I listened to their complaints. Glover has 500. Royce has 2,000. We need them. We got to keep them on our side, not if they lose their heads first. That's what we took. And she's like, we took it back. We worked together. It took everybody to come together to do this. What are you doing? No, I'm not sure.
So Sansa has basically seen that Arya has become a more violent person, that she has embodied an assassin. She is taking the path of violence when it should be diplomacy.
Right.
Sansa is saying, if we attack people, we attack our allies, we execute people, you do not build loyalty from people by beheading others.
Right.
And Arya is all about vengeance and action. So they're kind of polar opposites at this point.
Pretty much, yeah. Arya is basically like, if the only tool you have is murder, everything begins to look like a victim.
Which is kind of funny, though, because when Jon was in town, or in Winterfell, Sansa played the role of vengeance and murder and violence, and Jon was the level-headed one. Now that Jon's gone, Sansa has taken over that role, and Arya is stepping in as the new Sansa.
It's almost like the position at the top forces you to be a peacemaker, because you want things to stay, you're tired of getting everybody killed.
When you're the one who's responsible for everything, it's a little bit harder to want violence.
As they say, she who wears the crown the crown's heavy. All right, so there she goes. She goes there. Oh, Tyrion! Look, there's a shark back there. Look out! Look out! Be careful.
This kind of surprised me.
What?
Because at this point they landed on a shore, and I was like, okay, where are they?
Well, that's what they described. They were going to the King's Landing.
Right, but I didn't think they'd be there so soon, and only by the two of them.
Right.
And Davos says, the last time I was here, you killed my son with wildfire. And Tyrion's like, last time I was here, I killed my father with a crossbow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of bad memories for both of them.
Yeah, but the fact that they are going to King's Landing, Tyrion of all, who would be killed on sight if he was caught here, is pretty impressive.
Does Peter Dinklage have is that a real crease in his head?
No, I don't think so.
Really? Because he could keep a quarter in that, like if he had to go to the arcade or to, go to a parking meter or something.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Dragonstone's not far from King's Landing, by the way. They're both, it's kind of like an island off the thing there.
Right.
So it makes sense that they time warped pretty quickly.
It's very difficult for a person as wanted and hated as Tyrion in King's Landing to go incognito in the streets, being of the stature that he is.
Yes, absolutely. And
he stands out.
He's famous, I would say. And he stands out. Yeah, people notice him. Stands down, right? Is that what you said?
I tried to make a reverse joke.
We both. Yeah, all right. So yeah, it makes.
And then Davos has a seizure.
Davos, that's Davos having a.
No, he's actually stamping a sword, or I believe a sword or a spike or something into the ground.
He's doing it I think maybe because the tides will come in, maybe and lift up the boat or whatever. Maybe that's why. But he knows how to park the boat. So they got the boat up on the beach, and they're gonna. But Davos immediately heads off. He's like, I've got my own business in Flea Bottom. Now I actually thought about what ended up happening, and I didn't say anything, and it was very fleeting, and I was like, nah, that can't possibly be. So I didn't say anything. I wish I had.
But you had predicted what he was going to do in Flea Bottom.
I did?
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I didn't say it. So
okay, but in your mind you had predicted it.
Yeah, but it's not.
That's fair enough.
Nah, not really. You don't really get credit unless you say it out loud. I was like, I wonder if he's going to get maybe, but it could be. We'll see. But anyway, Tyrion is facing his old home here. This is a big deal. And now they did really jump. They didn't bother with much of like how he got to where he wound up. So we suddenly cut to Jaime being hustled through the dragon storage, the dragon skull storage here underneath the Red Keep by Bronn and under the auspices. Is that
that's
right?
fine.
Yeah, sure, why not? Of training. He goes, I don't want anybody to see you be training down here with your gimp hand. How you look swinging that thing yet? Today might be the day I kill you by accident. Ha ha ha. Nope, it's not. Bronn was actually setting up this meeting with Tyrion. This is a big deal. This is another reunion.
Yeah, it's a huge reunion.
Big time. And Jaime, of course, gets that intense Jaime face. You know, he gets, I'm Jaime angry. And, you know, they both kind of had a little bit of a back and forth about the fact that Tyrion killed their dad. And Jaime's still pissed about that. Although Tyrion doesn't know that Jaime knows that the truth about Joffrey's death. Like, right. Tyrion doesn't know that. But,
I mean, it was kind of established that Jaime believed him all along. Jaime and
that's
Tyrion
true.
had a brotherly love between the two of them.
Right. Yep. But Tyrion gives him some credit for such a good outmaneuvering
at Casterly
Rock. He got everybody out of there. Don't talk about father. Listen to me. So he, but you know, Tyrion makes a pretty good case. Like, he was going to kill me. He knew I didn't,
despite of his innocence,
kill Joffrey
because of what he was.
He hated me. He hated me because of this. So anyway, they're both right to be, you know, have complicated feelings about what's going on here. So yeah, you must know there's no way around that. So now this is Tyrion saying we need to have an armistice. We need to
He's asking
call it quits for a while.
He's asking for a meeting on behalf of Queen Daenerys.
Right. Like, we know what Tyrion's up to, so they don't bother showing him explaining it to Jaime, but he's basically saying, all right, so what do we got? We got to have, this is more important than just truce. There's something else going on that needs to be discussed, because they're actually finally starting to be convinced about the White Walker threat. So that's good. Now, Chatter, once you guys, this is armory, blacksmith, or making swords, and look at the Lannister lion faces. That's pretty fun. Yep. Pretty cool.
You can imagine the Lannisters are pretty much the biggest customer of any blacksmith in King's Landing.
Sure, yeah. And time of war, too. You got to be cranking those things out. War is good for money, man. For business, for certain, for people that make weapons, I guess. And so, cling, clang, clong, clong, hammer, hammer. Davos comes walking in. As soon as we saw the blacksmith, we should have known. Oh, look, they're selling gauntlets.
Yep.
All right. I just like looking around at these detailed shots. This lady's carrying a bowl on her head.
I have to inspect every gauntlet to see what their stats are before I buy one.
Of course. You'd mouse your cursor over it.
What is the durability on this, sir?
Oh, man, it's only green. I want a purple one. So then we get a big reveal here. This is the guy that Davos was looking for.
This is the running joke of Game of Thrones. The man who was seen rowing and never came back.
The holder of the tiny ears.
Gendry himself. Returned under the monster's nose, rowed his boat right back to King's Landing from Dragonstone, where he was being held captive by Stannis Baratheon and the Red Woman, and has been doing business here ever since.
Yeah,
we always thought he was out in the ocean continuing to row, but no. Yeah. Finally, the mystery solved.
Mystery solved. We just figured he'd made friends with some turtles and some crabs and was living in the ocean life, being buddies with a volleyball or something. Nope. Gendry. And Sir Davos is just like, hey, man, what's up? Well, yo, you're here, dude. But he's basically saying, yeah, I'm safer right here. That's how it works. He goes, aren't you worried about the gold cloaks? He's like, nah, I haven't been, I've been good. Everything's fine. They don't know that they have no reason to suspect anything. So everything's good here. Haven't been here in years, and sometimes I hardly do. I know.
You're just reading the subtitles.
Because I forget what the fuck. I forget. Usually you know it more.
I'm gonna do it your style. Keep going. Here I am, arming Lannisters, and I never got a second look. What?
Yeah. See, that's
it's really hard when you do it that way.
I know. And it's disappointing to me and the audience. It's not like this is preferable. Yeah. I just suck at this.
No, you don't.
Well, we together, James, we don't suck. You suck alone. Not that that's ever happened. And I suck alone, and I've never done it alone either. Together, we're the opposite of sucking. We're a fountain.
So we blow together.
So we blow. The opposite of it, we blow. All right. So, and I never got a second look. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But they're basically saying that you're never really safe. That
Yeah, he's basically saying that anyone who has come by, being of a Lannister or not, has looked at him and not given him a second look. No one seems to recognize who he is.
How's he cut his hair?
The people that were looking for him were Robert Baratheon Melisandre, Stannis Baratheon, they're all gone now.
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
I mean, aside from the Red Woman, who's had a change of heart.
Well, Cersei wouldn't want him around either.
No, so it's almost as though the threats to him have been annulled.
Right. Yep.
But
Nullified.
Davos, well,
Annulled.
same effect.
Yeah, I agree.
So he's basically saying, you know, you can come with us, or you can stay here in a relative state of safety, but know that safety is not guaranteed in any respect.
Yeah, and Gendry's like, fuck yeah, I'm coming with you. He doesn't hesitate at all. He's like, I've been waiting for this my whole life, man, for a chance to fight off. You know, do you think it's fun for me making weapons for the Lannisters, for the family that killed my father, the family that destroyed my life? I've been getting. He's basically it's like saying like I've been training. This is Eminem. He's going one chance, one opportunity. It's time to go. So he immediately just abandons everything and he picks up this.
Which is the great moment because of the story that you told in a couple episodes ago about Robert Baratheon's
story
choice.
I screwed up. I didn't.
That made it funnier to me because I trusted you and you betrayed me.
Well, that's what I do. I betray those who love me, who want to be like me.
So we know that he is the illegitimate son of King Robert Baratheon, and that Robert Baratheon in battle wielded a warhammer rather than a sword.
Right. Right, and so this is Gendry's weapon is this massive, huge club, this hammer. It's got a spike there. It's got a hammer part at the end of that. Notice the stag on it. That's pretty cool. Let's see if we get a better shot of it. I don't think so. So yeah, it's also just the right, it's exactly the right weapon for a blacksmith.
Yeah.
Blacksmith is swinging a hammer all day long. He's probably got a giant fiddler crab right arm.
And he's named it Widow Smasher.
Is that right?
No.
Oh, I was going to say.
That'd be pretty messed up.
I would have named it Cranium Cleaver. What would you name it?
Cleaving means that you cut something.
Yeah, keep my enemies off guard.
So you can't really cleave something with a hammer.
No. I'm not suggesting you cleave with a hammer,
So you're
James.
lying about the name of it to make people thrown off guard.
Sun Tzu's Art of War, Chapter 1.
It's Sun Tzu.
Verse 1. Lie about the name of your hammer.
And lie about the name of the general. Susu.
Sun Tzu.
I thought it was Sun, not Sun.
Where did you hear the right pronunciation?
What
authority are you claiming that you've heard the correct way to pronounce that?
Google.
Google can sook my dick. Okay? All right, so anyway, Gendry's got a big hammer. I think everybody's excited to see Gendry. Everybody's excited to see that he's got a giant hammer. Right?
Is that a euphemism?
No.
Okay.
Oh, and he's got a huge, fat, girthy cock.
Yep. See, I didn't stop him.
Well, you wouldn't have known anyway. But
I knew it was coming.
I only did that because you started it.
I know.
Yep. If Gendry was a woman, I would have said he's got a giant, thick pussy.
That's it. I let it go. People keep thinking that I'm a prude.
Well, you're not if you cared about the sex stuff, you wouldn't hang out with me at all.
No.
You're just worried like that people that hear it might be offended by it.
Yeah,
you're sort of a proxy.
Like my father, I would listen to my nephew listening to YouTube videos all the time, and some of them are really good channels, stuff that I want him to hear, but they make like one little unsavory joke, and my dad goes over and says, "Turn that filth off." So I don't want that to happen to other people, you know. I understand it. I get it.
So you're worried about those folks out there. Yeah. I hear that. I think that it's okay to be sensitive to people's feelings about that. On the other hand, they can go fuck themselves. Yeah. All right, so keep your father's name to your... Oh, yeah, so he's basically saying, all right, now you're going to be someone else. We can't let anybody know who your dad is. This is an important thing. And then, of course, we got some gold cloaks wandering up. And no weapons, no front. He turns into the kind of charming business guy here immediately. He sort of... This is the smuggler's way. And he... You know, he has a little chat with him. He, lets him know he's not a threat. Now, this guy I recognize. I know I've seen him in previous episodes. So, and actually, he's the one that we'll see. He sort of makes a connection a little bit later. So he sort of tries to bribe him, though. And he's like, still 5 gold dragons? And they laugh at him like, no, buddy, it's 15 a piece. So it's actually 30 total here for us. And so, of course, they don't mind being bribed. They're all about it. They're going to let him walk off. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like, he kind of makes him laugh. I can't say it was a pleasure doing business with you. You know, it's sort of just cracking a little joke there. Like, he's like, this is just business as usual is sort of the
And he pulls another smooth move right here.
Yeah, so they want to see what's in the boat. Now we're like, oh, no.
They know there are weapons in the boat, but they can't see that there are weapons in the boat.
Right. Like, what are you smuggling? What's going on here? And so he decides to show him. But the move is... I missed the moment. It happened pretty quickly. But you can see inside the boat the hammer is exposed. And they show a shot of Gendry looking down at the hammer, knowing that if they get closer, they're going to see it, and then that might be trouble. And so to reveal what's in the boat, he covers the boat, or covers the weapon with the tarp, and shows a bunch of fermented crab. So this is how good smugglers work. They actually are like smuggling something fake when the actual cargo is this guy. But nope, he wants the guys to think the actual the you know, that's the misdirection. So he does this whole thing that this is fermented crab meat and that it's used for getting boners. This is basically Viagra that he's going to sell to brothels for. Hence, it's sort of like it's a smart. I think it's a great choice because
he's a master at this trade.
But it's also the kind of product you probably would smuggle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it has to be sort of illegal, but it's also not something anybody's going to get upset about. That you're just basically scamming brothels by selling them rotten crab meat because you're claiming it causes boners. He basically says, yeah, so dudes will have, they come into the brothel, then they're done, and they go home, but this one gives them a boner after 5 minutes, and then they can have another go, and so it ups the profits of the brothel. It's just capitalism.
Yep.
Capitalism.
And then he even invites them each to try a little bit, which brings about probably one of the best jokes in the whole episode.
About the hole in the chainmail?
Yeah, I ruined it.
Yeah. Is that the joke? Well, I don't have the screenshot of it, I don't think.
You don't?
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe I do. Hold on. Yeah, there he is. Explain. 5 minutes later, he's back in the race. It takes me about a half hour if I was being. Now that I'm getting older, I used to be able to get back, like 10 minutes maybe.
Thanks for sharing.
Depending on how much I like her blog.
And this is how I feel Gendry right there. That's my reaction.
That's you looking at that?
No, to your story.
Oh, about the boners? Yeah, well, we all have them. Everybody likes a boner, doesn't it? As my hero Dan Savage says, all men love boners. Straight men love one boner. Gay men love lots of boners. That's true.
That guy always got his...
Straight men like their boner. There's nothing wrong with it. It's totally okay. You're supposed to like it. What, you're going to hate yourself? I hate
No, I'm not a big fan of Dan Savage.
I like Dan Savage. He's cool. He's really smart. All right, whatever. Okay, so anyway, they do take a bite. They're like, oh, really? Oh, yeah, I like having a boner. Let's do it. So they take a bite of... And he's like, oh, okay, let's see if this... Ew. I mean, it sounds disgusting. Crab meat?
Well, seafood in general is disgusting.
How dare you? That's the second thing you said that shows terrible judgment. Fucking seafood is amazing. What are you talking about?
Disgusting.
A scallop? A properly seared scallop?
It's bugs from the ocean. Would you eat a cockroach that scampers across your bathroom floor?
No, I would not. But
you would eat one that scampers out from the ocean's depths?
Yes, absolutely, because it's delicious.
No, that's how I feel right now about you.
Yeah, well, this is how I feel about you. How do you like that?
I'm okay with that.
I'm looking at you with the,
with
the crazy balding old man face. No, I don't. Is fish? Are you against fish? Or
yes. Fish is disgusting.
You grew up eating fish.
No, I didn't. My dad was a fisherman, but I never ate it.
Did your dad never feed you what he caught, or he sold everything?
I would eat everything. I would find.
What did you eat growing up? Did you eat Doritos?
I ate what real men eat: Hot Pockets.
Was it a lot of processed box grocery store, shitty grocery store food?
Pretty much.
I mean, that's pretty much what I ate too. Yeah. But I love seafood, man. Seafood's great.
Nah, seafood, just the smell of it alone makes me sick.
That is you. I think you need to see a therapist. Lobster, shrimp.
Oh, lobster's like the biggest cockroach of the sea.
That's outrageous. You're out of your mind.
Crunching through its exoskeleton, sucking out its guts. Oh,
I don't suck its guts out.
Well, you suck out its
That's
meat.
Crayfish, okay?
Whatever.
And I don't do the. I have had crayfish. There are tiny lobsters, and they are kind of frustrating.
You eat enough of it.
My favorite thing is big crab legs, big old fat crab legs. Crack that fucker open.
Unbelievably disgusing.
Pull it out. It's all the juice comes out too. I get pretty good at it. You can kind of snap it and then pull out the tendon thing.
Do you want me to throw up a new screen? I'll do it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I could use a new screen. No, let us know in the comments, everybody. Do you like seafood? By the way, I understand not everybody likes seafood. I don't expect everybody to have my taste, but I think people that are missing out that don't like seafood are missing out.
I just don't like eating bugs.
They're not bugs.
They're bugs.
Why are they bugs?
Because if you look at their genus and species, their kingdom, their phylum, their class, their order, their family, their genus, their species, you will probably find some word buried in the binomial nomenclature of their classification system that they are in some way related to cockroaches.
Yeah, I think they're probably closer to cockroaches than we are, but insects go way back. Insects were evolved before anything else. Actually, I don't know if that's true, but ocean shit evolved before anything else. But no, eat garlic, butter, and ocean bugs.
Garlic and butter I'm fine with, but keep the bugs out of it.
All right. Well, you know what, James? More for me.
Well, if you like that stuff, I'd hurry to your favorite establishment, Red Lobster.
Long John Silver's?
Yes.
Okay, so let's keep going. Yeah, this is him saying, go get your boner worked on there, or you're gonna put a hole in that chainmail. You know, he's keeping it. This is boys will be boys. Like, hey, buddy, we want to go golfing and talk about our dicks and our wives.
I mean, that's how you relate to them to get them to think of other things, so their suspicion of you becomes less rampant.
Exactly. I can't believe you don't like seafood.
It's so disgusting.
Fermented crab meat, my favorite.
I grew up on the water.
You ever had a crab cake? It combines my two favorite things: circles and crabs. So good. And anyway, here comes trouble. Oh man, this is not.
He ruins everything. Couldn't he have hidden in a freaking bush or something? Couldn't he have pulled a Sean Spicer?
Well, he should have looked ahead. Pulled a Sean. Much like, yeah, he could have looked ahead and hid in the bushes, or like he could have done that, kind of like skulked about a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, no one will notice me. I'm just a normal person.
But remember, he was told by Davos earlier that this is an area that's very rarely patrolled by guards because there's got a lot of stairs or something.
But so, he could see the guards down there.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, so we can't change that.
Perhaps he thought it would be less suspicious to continue walking as though there was nothing to worry about.
Well, at this point, he didn't have any choice. It'd be way more suspicious if he suddenly darted off into the bushes after they see him. But bad timing. This is trouble, though, because Tyrion is identifiable, and he comes up to these guys, and he's like, oh shit, oh boy, uh-oh. And you know, Gendry and Sir Davos are like, oh man, no, not right now. This is bad. And then this is the guy that spots him. I know I've seen his face. I need to figure out which episode he's in, because I'm pretty sure he was in one of them. And Tyrion just goes right by, hoping that they don't say anything, but of course they do. And he goes, hey, dwarf, hey, all right, where are you going? We were looking for a dwarf with a scar. Yep. You've got one. And Davos tries to kind of, he still plays
the topic.
But he's still, yeah, exactly. But he's sort of trying to play the role of this business guy, or, you know, smuggling the crab boner stuff. That dwarf, there he is, looking for a scar with that. And Tyrion's like, uh-oh, you're going to arrange to pay us more than, Davos is like, all right, well, how much is this going to cost us? And he goes, you're not going to pay us more than Queen Cersei, motherfucker. So they're basically caught, but nope, they're not. Guess what? Someone has a giant hammer. Gendry's not afraid to use it. He just bashes his head. I tried to get a lot of screenshots here.
Basically, it's hammer time.
It's hammer time, and Gendry's got the moves, too. He does a little swinging around, and clonk. Meanwhile, Tyrion's just like working on the rope thing. But really gives him a good one. Turns his face into jelly.
It's always nice to see a Baratheon take out a Lannister.
I guess that's right. Yeah, these are just like, you know, gold cloaks. They're I guess they're the Lannisters.
Hired by the Lannisters.
Yeah,
they may not be blood relative to the Lannisters, although they could be.
Yeah, no, I don't think they are.
But, you know. Yeah,
they're just guards or whatever. But yeah, nailed him. Really fucked him up.
Put a chainmail in your face, did you?
Nope, you forgot.
Not that would help.
Yep, he's that was intense, and so now violence has occurred. Tyrion's like, oh shit, and so they end up and they get going real quick, and it's like, all right, well, this is Gendry, and Gendry's a bit of a badass. He was never quite like a violent fighter before.
No, but he was always a guy who was in pretty good shape.
Oh yeah, when you're a blacksmith's apprentice.
Arya noticed that as well.
He was known for he had nice arms because he was a blacksmith guy, like kind of like me. Well, my left arm is. I would have wiped off the hammer. Wouldn't the hammer have blood on it? I think this is a good spot. He could have just like put it in there and just wiped it off. Because you know when you put your sword and it's full of blood, like in a movie when the guy stabs somebody, and then you put the sword immediately into the scabbard. Aren't you just putting a bunch of blood in your scabbard?
They are getting into a boat to go across an ocean.
He could dip it in the water?
Yes.
That's probably smart.
We have ample opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So anyway, Jaime comes in, interrupts Qyburn and Cersei. I wonder what Qyburn was referring to here. You think you saw like giving her medical advice? Like, oh yeah, I'll give you some...
We find out something about Cersei later on in the scene that gives meaning to this.
Okay.
We don't know yet, so we're not supposed to know what's going on here.
You're totally right. Yep, I gotcha. Yep, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Look, she got a little bell. That's for calling up the servants. I've always wanted to have one of those for summoning Taco Bell. So Jaime comes in and he confesses he met with Tyrion.
And Cersei says, "I know. In fact, I allowed it to happen because Bronn was the one who set up the meeting.
Yeah.
And are you going to punish or speak to Bronn for his insubordination, for his treason?"
Right. She's just, But does she say that? Did she already say that?
No, she says that immediately after this.
Right away? Oh, after what we're looking at here?
Yeah.
Right. So they do talk about a little bit about what they talked about. She just won a great victory. Why would she want? She's basically like, what? What do you mean a truce? She doesn't make sense to her. Because an army of dead men is marching on 7 kingdoms. She's like, yeah, right. Yeah, sure. Bronn. And then she reveals that she knew about it all. He betrayed you. He set up a meeting that acknowledged her consent. So yeah, this is an interesting reveal that she kind of has. You know, she's the ruler, so she's got her.
The fact that she knew Tyrion was in the city and did nothing is shocking to me, though.
I see. The way I read it was that she was testing Jaime's loyalty, basically, to see if he were to do.
But she truly believes, via the prophecy that was told to her as a young girl, that Tyrion is the one who's going to kill her.
Yeah.
So why would she not act on getting revenge on him when he is helpless within the walls of her city?
I don't know. That's a good one. Hard to say. But let us know in the comments. That's all I got. So anyway, she actually starts to kind of think, yeah, maybe there is something to this, and she knows that she's at a disadvantage now.
Yeah, it could, you know, like she said, it could be that she knows that she'll be annihilated by Daenerys Targaryen and her 3 dragons. So instead of getting her vengeance immediately and killing Tyrion, she will reach an armistice with the Dragon Queen.
Well, she's got 2 choices, basically.
Yeah.
It's like either you're going to get destroyed or see where this armistice thing goes, because you might be able to find a way of winning via this. And she says that, basically, like, we have to fight like our dad would have fought.
Right, and she is reckless, but she is, you know, smart enough to know what the better choice is.
Right.
Revenge comes after.
Yeah, or outweighing, right. Direct confrontation is no longer an option, really. It's just not going to work. So dead men, dragons, and dragon queens, we will defeat it. She has unshakable confidence. She's always
because she's not the one out there swinging the swords.
That's true. Yeah, she is just planting bombs under churches.
Poor Jaime is the one going out there seeing the stuff firsthand.
Yeah. If I were Jaime, I'd be like, I'd hold up my golden hand and be like, look, you fucking bitch, I've already lost a hand. I only have 3 of them left, and 2 of them are feet. All right, so she doesn't care. She doesn't care. He's got feet. She's just like, all right, there, Jaime. You. What's going on here? You do. Oh yeah, this is the part where she kind of touches her belly, right? She sort of gives her belly a little touch, or your womb or uterus. Or
yeah, she basically implies that she's pregnant.
Yeah, yeah.
And he says, "Who will you tell the people it would be the father?" And she bluntly says, "You."
And the next shot is tube, because it's referring to her cervix.
Okie dokie.
No, I don't think the cervix is the tube. That's the vagina. Cervix is the entrance. It's the cave inside the cave, as my OBGYN explained to me when he told me that I shouldn't be there and that I have to leave or he'll call the police. All right, so people won't like that. They're upset. You know, people aren't going to like that we have an incest king ruler with a new baby, with a king baby, king incest baby. So, do you remember what Father used to say about people? Well, I didn't get the screenshot, so I have no idea at all.
It was something on the lines of a lion has little regard for the opinions of a sheep.
Yeah, there you go.
Or something along the lines of that.
Right. Seems about right. I'll go with it. So, yeah. That's, they give a little hug. They have a nice little kiss, and, you know, she gives him this is, you know, never betray me again. Which is what I say when I hug people.
Yes.
Every time. So that's interesting. Pregnant.
Yeah.
Do you think the show will go long enough to have a baby? Like they're going to ruin it, like they ruined Friends when they introduced Marcel?
Yeah. I mean, do you think she'll name him Joffrey, the 3rd Joffrey?
And the Furious. It's going to be Joffrey and the Furious 7. No, it'll be 4. It'll be the 4th kid.
Yeah, probably. I wasn't counting. Yeah.
Marcella. Yeah, the 2 boys, Marcella and
Tommen, Joffrey, Marcella.
Yeah.
Were there others?
Those are 3.
Those are only 3? Okay.
This will be number 4.
Okay.
Assuming it's, you know, although it would be kind of like justice if it's a dwarf. Yeah. For her to be like, curse you. She hates dwarfs because she hates Tyrion, and she's a dwarfist. All right, so back to Dragonstone. I love these rocks, the way they're uplifted like that. That's so cool. I just think geology is amazing. I'm a big fan of planet Earth, James. That's why I think we need to care a little bit more about it. The king's got a lot on his mind. So who's talking here? This is Davos explaining to Gendry, don't tell anybody who you are. We got to keep your identity secret. He's got doesn't need to be thinking about harboring the bastard of a dead king.
He's got enough on his plate. So pretend that your name is Clovis.
I do like the name Clovis. Yes. It's such a dweeby guy name too. You're going to be Clovis. I could have called you Dale.
But it sounds like the name of a rabbit.
A little bit, yeah. Before he heads off to work at the Winterfell Forges. So basically that's it. You're just a guy who I know I'm doing a favor for. You're going to get a job in Winterfell. But as soon as they come in, he doesn't even get finished saying the word Clovis before Gendry pipes up. name's Gendry, Your Grace. I'm your dad's...
And immediately identifies himself as the illegitimate son of King Robert Baratheon.
Yes, yes. And this is kind of like a reboot of the Ned and Robert friendship. One guy's got a hammer, another guy's got a sword.
Well, you've got a Baratheon and a Stark, and a Stark also was Targaryen, which they're not aware of at the moment, but it is sort of like a repartnering of the same two families.
Yeah. And Gendry seems like chomping at the bit. He just wants to get in there. Not that he's reckless but anything, but he's like really eager to be like, all right, I'm tired of being a blacksmith. He even says it. He's like, I'm tired of... Sam says that later on. Never mind, I got it fucked up.
He says, I met your father in my shop, and Jon says that he met his father, Robert Baratheon, at Winterfell.
Yeah, Winterfell. Oh,
so they're aware of their two... Longclaw.
I just never noticed that Longclaw had such an expressive face.
Yes, it does.
So those eyes are fun. So he grew up on... Yeah, so they grew up on stories about their dads having these wars, and so they're kind of like the same... they're like instant partners.
You think they would get the story about the rubies right?
Probably not.
Okay.
No, nobody gets the stories right. Not everybody has access to the internet like we humans do. I said partner, not really partners, but they're sort of like, like long-lost brothers in a way. Cousins, I suppose, or just just two. But he's a fighter. He's not a swordsman, but he's a fighter. And even Davos kind of gives the nod. He's like, yeah, he knows. I saw him smash the heads of two guys. It was pretty quick. So as they say, better to be a coward for a minute than dead for the rest of your life.
I mean, how can you be dead for the rest of your life? Because the rest of your life implies that you are alive.
Sure.
After you're dead, it's no longer your life.
Yeah.
Therefore, it makes no sense.
Once you're dead, you're going to be buried your whole life.
Yeah.
No, I agree. That does not make sense. Kind of like your disdain for scallops.
Ugh.
Scallops that's a mollusk. It's not even a bug.
A snail is still a bug to me. Anything that crawls between the blades of grass and the dirt and the muck.
I think you should start eating bugs. In fact, that's probably our best bet for protein once we, get over this factory farm stuff. I'm not gonna. I love burgers. I'm a big meat guy, but bugs are good protein sources. So
you can keep your bugs.
I'm not gonna eat. I mean, actually, I would try a bug if I were properly prepared. Why not? You've got some old school attitudes, and I think it's time you ate some scallops.
I think it's pretty normal not to want to eat bugs.
Well, sure, bugs, but I think the whole bugs of the ocean. In fact, that's what people say to make you feel better about killing lobster. Like the people boiling crabs. When I lived in Seattle, I used to go crabbing at the Puget Sound. I would toss a crab net in, and I'd pull it out, and I'd read a book, and then every 20 minutes it'd come up, and a bunch of people would come by. You get little kids would come by and want to look in your bucket, and you get weirdos coming by too. It'd be fun. But I would boil crabs like every day for like a whole summer. It was great.
It's horrible.
What's horrible about it?
Murdering poor little crabs?
Do you eat meat?
Well, I don't kill them.
That's worse.
No, it's way better.
No, you're disconnected from the death.
Exactly, which is why it's easier.
You honor the animal by owning the death of the animal. You should kill your own cow. Why don't you kill your own chickens?
I can't wait out this war on meat.
But they say, well, if you feel bad about killing a lobster, just think of it as a bug. That makes it easier.
Well, I don't kill bugs either.
Well, that's where you lose me on that one. I mean, yeah. All right. The only animal I wouldn't kill is moose and the American eagle. Bald eagles. Because they're not actually bald. Those are white feathers, okay? They're not really bald. I'd love to see a bald eagle that had male pattern baldness. Just like a U-shaped scalp skin patch showing. It's probably like grumpy because it's a virgin. All right, so all I've ever done is live a ripe old... So he's basically saying, yeah, why would anybody listen to me? All I've ever done is stay alive, you dumb young guys, you idiots. So anyway, off they go. Tyrion comes off to say goodbye. He comes up to Jorah. And he's like, I rather missed you, Jorah. Nobody glowers quite like you.
They had a pretty bad start because Jorah kidnapped him to bring him to Queen Daenerys.
And Volantis, yeah.
And it was in protecting Tyrion that he contracted grayscale. That's right. And they both became slaves to, a group of slavers, and they both went through great trials in getting to where they are right now.
That they've had a long road to this. So, but they become buds a little bit over time.
I believe it was Tyrion himself who convinced Daenerys to exile Jorah rather than to have him killed or something along the lines of that.
I think maybe, yeah. But that was before he got the stone thing.
Yes, but it was before that.
Yeah, I think so.
But when she learned that he was the one who had been passing information from Varys back and forth to King's Landing, which resulted in her assassination attempt.
Yeah, exactly. So, got it. Cool. So, when I suggest he free us and pay it... Oh, yeah, so this is the coin. He pulls out this coin. This is his lucky coin that one of those slaver guys gave him when he was purchased and sold to this guy. And actually, I didn't get a shot of it, but Jorah said something like, Yeah, that was going to last us the whole rest of our life.
Yeah,
basically saying like the next 2 days or 3 days or whatever, because they knew they were going to get killed probably. So he's like, you take it now, but bring it back. This will be lucky for you. So, hopefully we end up seeing a scene where this coin comes back to Tyrion. Maybe he puts it on a crow's leg and sends it back on a crow mail. Raven mail. Thank you. So Dany comes by. She's got she likes Jorah, despite all their history together. Mostly positive. We should be better at saying farewell by now. We've done this before. And of course he still has sort of this old man heart for her. Oh, I'll kiss your hand. And so that, that's showing a lot that, what if his tongue was stone, though? Would it be like,
like a sandpaper cat tongue?
Yeah. She's, wow, her eyes are really blue or something. Are they always that color? I don't know.
She doesn't actually have eyes in real life. They're CGI.
Oh, there's a CGI. Yeah. They're just green screen eyes in real life?
Pretty much.
Yeah. That's how she's such a good actor. Jon Snow, speaking of pretty girls, comes over. Hello. But Tyrion, I like the shot. It was composed interestingly. The way Tyrion is standing, not facing, but he's listening very intently to what's going on. That's sort of his job, is to kind of know what's going on with everything. But they have an understanding, these two, and off they go. Jon takes the lead, and they heave. Off we go, guys, and that's it. They're gone.
I think this is the scene where every time someone was speaking, their hair was blowing so violently in the wind that it really made me wonder how badly they had to do ADR on this.
Could be. Yep. I didn't have that thought at all. But yeah, that's probably about right.
You can't get good audio with wind whipping like that.
Or those waves.
Yeah.
I didn't quite pick up on all the wind. But yeah, it's by the ocean. There's usually some wind going on around the water. That's why I don't like going to the beach, mostly because the sun is there. That's it. Off to Jon Snow. And then back to Sam. We haven't seen in a while. With Gilly, my favorite. Gilly's doing a little reading. She's reading up on some Trivial Pursuit answers. She's got some steps, 15,000. How many? 15,000. So she's getting educated, though. This is good. This is what reading does for people. She's
got very little else to do.
Well, she's raising a kid, and she's living in a weird land. I think this is okay. And you don't like Gilly.
I didn't like Gilly initially because I felt like when an episode came on, I was so interested to see where it was going to get to the interesting parts, that seeing her meant that a giant void of the episode would be encompassed by nonsense surrounding her, which seemed to me to be a waste.
Well, fair. That's a fair point. But has it grown on you at all? Or
no.
So you still don't like Gilly?
No, I hate seafood. I hate things with gills. She is Gilly. Screw Gilly.
I don't...
It all ties together.
She has a tender... innocent sweetness to her, and she was rescued by this horrible, terrible Craster's Keep situation, and she's important to Sam, and if she's important to Sam, she's important to me. All right, I like Gilly. I think she's okay. If the whole show was about her, it'd probably be a little bit much.
She's like a Subway sandwich,
delicious and awesome and foot long.
She's inbred.
Yes. She's like me. She's inbred.
Yes.
I use bread for condoms. When it's man set aside, she goes, "What's annulment?" So she's basically reading stuff, and he's like explains to her, and then she's like, "Oh, there's a thing here about the annulment of a Prince Rhaegar."
And the funny thing about this is that they're reading something that's probably very important and very unknown to most people in Westeros. She's referencing Prince Rhaegar. She just can't pronounce it correctly.
Well, and I was thinking, wait, are they finding out that there was some secret marriage, and therefore the heiresses, or the way the throne has been handed down was completely wrong, and they have information that could change that?
Well,
but it didn't seem that's not the direction the scene took.
No, I think that they're glossing over the fact that they have probably very important information here that is so unnecessary for their purposes that they don't see any significance in it.
Right.
So they just kind of gloss over it and go straight into their own dialogue.
Ceremony. Yeah, because Sam is preoccupied with his own issue of the way the Maesters aren't really listening to him.
That could have related to Rhaegar and Lyanna.
Yeah.
But that great secret will remain lost in time because, they're just
right
ignoring it.
I mean, that speaks to how information, its existence alone isn't enough. It has to be in the right hands. With like the internet, everybody has access to so much information, but we're not really equipped to process all of it. So you get all kinds of insanities happening on the internet. There's a lot of good stuff happening on the internet too, but there's just also a lot of weirdness going on there too. It's just it's all pretty fucked up. But information has to be filtered into the right hand. So I don't know why I repeated myself there. Okay. So anyway, Sam is just pissed off. So he goes on a nice little rant. And he just screams about, well, the maesters, we got to find the secret to defeat the Night's King, probably sitting on some dusty shelf somewhere. Nobody knows what's going on. We can all become slavering, murderous imbeciles enthralled to evil incarnate. No, he's not talking about Donald Trump. And as long as we can have access to the full right. So he's raising his voice. He's like, but we know about steps. We know about shits. We know about chamber pots. We know about... and then, oh yeah, the kid.
Well, he mistakes the number of steps for the number of poos.
Yes, right.
Which is not correct.
Wait, what is a poo?
A poo is a poo.
Not a...
Winnie the Pooh.
It's a It's not a I'm trying to get James to swear, everybody. It's just, it's never worked. And then the kid that looks like Casper the Ghost, friendly ghost, I should say, sees it. And what if he'd like turned into a big-headed teen like Bran already? You know how the actors grow up and stuff.
Yes. Usually it's not time lapse.
Well, it should be in this show the way they time warp around. What if baby Casper is just like an old man? But he doesn't know any English yet because he's still a dumb kid. That's not fair to children. Children, you can't hold it against them for not knowing English. Okay, so Sam decides to get up and off he goes. He storms off. It's the middle of the night. He's like, he's had enough of this. He's fed up. He goes into the scroll in the book library and he starts grabbing stuff off the shelves. I think he knew what he was picking, though. I don't think he was just grabbing randomly. Because he looked at the spine of a book at one point.
And I knew at this point when he turns back and longingly looks at the Citadel as though he's saying goodbye, I knew that the next shot had to be him leaving for good.
Yeah.
He had no intent of taking these home, reading them, and returning them to work. He realizes that if he needs to make something happen in this world to fulfill the purpose that he came to the Citadel for, he needs to take action. He needs to get what he came for and leave.
This is like when you quit your job, so you go steal all the good coffee,
Yep.
like the unblended beans or whatever. You just go in there and you're like, all right, fucking place. You go like take like someone's Diet Cokes out of the fridge and then you're gone. See you later, fuck faces. That's how it was when I quit my job. No, actually, I left with a plate of relief and an instant regret. No, life's hard. All right. So there they go. Are you sure you want to do it? How did he get a horse all set up? Maybe he did it himself or something. It feels like this would have been noticed, is what I mean.
Yeah, probably. Well, the maesters are all old. They're kind of sleeping in,
Yeah, they're probably all drunk and stuff. So you always wanted to be a maester. No, his whole job has become Jon Snow's maester, basically.
Right.
But wasn't he sent when Jon Snow was the Castle Black guy, not the King of the North?
I don't think he's aware of what has become of Jon Snow since he left.
You don't think he knows that he's the king now?
Well, I think
he's got to know
I'm sure
that.
Ravens would have come to the Citadel, and I'm sure he would have heard something along the lines of that, but I don't quite know if he would be aware of that Jon was killed, betrayed, Actually, no.
Was he around when Jon got killed?
Actually, that timeline is... I think Jon was killed shortly after he left.
I think so, yeah.
Because he would have never allowed that to happen. He would have died himself taking up for Jon.
Had he been in a position to do that, yeah.
So I don't think that information was ever transmitted outside of Castle Black to the Citadel.
Right. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. All right, we'll see. Who knows? I'm sure somebody in the comments will clarify all that. And we always appreciate nice clarification. Some people clarify, but they scream it at us like we
Yeah, that works too.
Well, no, it doesn't. What are you doing? Why? What's
the point? Me.
Well, okay, if it informs you, it's fine. But you could be respectful.
Sometimes the context of what people write on the internet is hard to take. Sometimes someone will write something in all caps with an exclamation mark, or they're really doing it in a satirical way. Yeah. They're not doing it serious. No, I get it. You got to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Some things are lost. Yeah, you should. But yeah. But also people... All right, yeah, it's all fine. There they go. Gilly and Sam are off on another adventure. He's dragging her around because he can't settle in on a career, so he's relocating his kid and his wife.
And the Citadel is just a giant smokestack.
There's a bunch of weed up there. That's why those guys are set. That's why they're academics, because they smoke a little doobie and they put on an old 45 record and then they try to bang their students.
It just seems too small of a place to encompass that gigantic library.
You think so?
It is. I mean,
it's been around forever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hear you though. This is the Olympic torch. This is the Olympics in the year 8,424. Okay, so then Arya. Now we're back at Winterfell. I know we don't see her yet, but there's Winterfell. Littlefinger giving her a little money or something, and Arya sees him. So he's basically paying his spies, and that's where he gets his intel. Of course, Arya's watching, and then Littlefinger kind of looks over and sees an empty thing, but he kind of senses that maybe he's being watched. Arya is sort of ghosting around, looking at him from the corners and stuff, being a real creeper. But she's doing it for a good cause. She's trying to help out her sister and, you know, get some intel. See, there's that word again. For it, on Littlefinger, he's talking to that's the Rover and Glover and Royce. I almost said Clovis, but that's Gendry.
Do you think that if Sir Davos and Littlefinger were in the same room and someone yelled Littlefinger, they'd both turn around?
Yeah. Well, no, Sir Davos would respond to Littlefingers, plural, because he's got 4 little fingers and 1 little thumb.
Yeah.
Little thumb. But anyway, Arya's watching.
So basically, Arya knows that he's planting seeds of discontent. He is going around manipulating people and setting events into motion because that is all Littlefinger is out to do.
Right.
Power through chaos.
Yes, he does politics and he uses information and subterfuge and other things. So anyway, she's watching. So this is a maester comes by, gives him some little info, took some searching. So is he intercepting Raven notes now?
That's the way I interpreted it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. That didn't seem okay. And so is he just? So yeah, he's up to no good. He's up to his nefarious schemes. Arya's not happy about it. She's going to do something. You know, she's got all the power of being a no-one assassin. She can do whatever she wants. She can go wherever she wants. She even knows how to pick locks. She pulls out this lock picking kit. I thought that was kind of funny. And she gets in. She starts skulking about, and she's looking around. She starts searching it through. It takes a while to search a room. I feel like that's you know, you got to really look around. She's feeling over on top of the ledge of the. She ran her
much
hand
easier
on
in
here.
video games because when you hover in front of something and it has an E, you know you can look in it.
Tells you to interact or something. Yeah, it's so much easier. In real life, though, there's scrolls and drawers and all kinds of shelves and places to hide. She looks down, she looks up, and she sees the bed. And she goes, "Oh, I'm gonna look." And it's such a clear. Amateur move to hide something under a mattress, isn't it? Doesn't it? Like, wouldn't anybody? That seems a little too obvious. She finds a little hole. She pulls out a note.
Winterfell Hustler magazines.
Yeah. He's got a bunch of porno USB drives.
Yeah. So here we didn't have a chance to actually read what it said.
Here it is.
So let's see.
Something is dead. I can't read that.
Killed from wounds he took in a barbaric.
Hard to read that. In a
Joffrey and tried to steal his throne. So this is
Olenna.
Lannisters. Okay, this is about Olenna then.
You know that for sure?
Well, I'm assuming because Olenna tried.
Wait, and swear fealty to King Joffrey, your faithful sister Sansa. Oh, so this is a note. Wait a minute. Wait, so this is supposed to be written from Sansa.
Okay.
To who? Maybe a note she wrote when she was captured?
Well, when she was in King's Landing. It's possible.
Killed from wounds he took in a... Could this be... So who would be dead?
I would imagine King Robert...
Oh, in a boar
Yeah, in
hunt.
a boar, not barbaric. So this is Robert Baratheon.
Yeah, is dead. Tried to steal his throne.
Oh, Ned tried to steal the throne from Joffrey. That's why he was killed. So this... Interesting.
I think so.
Is this forged? Because Sansa wouldn't say that unless she was forced to write that.
Well, okay, we can come back to this if we want, but there's important information here. So she immediately is like, oh shit, I gotta tell somebody. But she rolls it back up and we assume she's gonna hide it again. And as she leaves, we see Littlefinger kind of come around the corner. He's turned the tables. He's watching. He knows she was in there.
He's always steps ahead.
Which means the note is fake.
The note very possibly could be fake. He wants her to find that.
Yeah, we don't know if the note is fake, but we do know that he wanted her to find it.
It was yet another of many misdirections planted by Littlefinger for the sole purpose of gaining the upper hand.
Somehow using it to his advantage, yes. But so, yeah, I guess because the thing is, if you're going to forge... Wouldn't she know her sister's handwriting or something? I mean,
It's been a long time since they've been together.
That's true. I mean, I guess I wouldn't really know my brother's handwriting, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. We don't write each other letters. We send each other smoke signals. Yeah, I don't know. Isn't that... It's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, so the note could be authentic. It could be fake, but it's related to the killing of Joffrey, King Robert. So this is an older time. I mean, this goes back
this is
quite
season
a bit.
1, basically.
I'm wondering what exactly that's gonna... So I guess we'll find out soon. That's very interesting. All right, so cool. All right, well anyway, King Littlefinger. Littlefinger's a real piece of shit. Jon Snow arrives at Eastwatch by the bay,
by the sea.
They There's the shot I was hoping to show. That's where it juts out.
There's Jon Snow's boat.
Yep, he and his buddies.
It shows that the water is not yet frozen entirely.
Not quite. No. And they got structures all over the place. That's the showers. That's where they go to. No, I don't know why I'm trying to be funny about it. Okay, now they're having a little meeting. I've been failing at that job of late. They're talking about something. I don't know.
So this is Jon Snow, Davos, Tormund at, I presumably, Eastwatch. Because Tormund was going to be...
Literally at Eastwatch.
Well, the Tormund is going to be holding Eastwatch as, effectively as a crow, as a member of the Night's Watch.
Yeah, right. So...
so he's saying, which of these queens do we need to convince to listen to our advice?
Yeah.
The one who flies around the dragons, or the one who has fun with her brother?
Yeah, fun with her brother.
Yes.
That she has incest with her brother.
Yes.
And it is hot. He's like, both. He's like, it's funny too, because Tormund was like, how many queens are there now? He's like, well, there's 2, and they're both really fucking powerful, man. We got to be careful here.
And the funny thing is that Tormund must have already been here, because he said, how many men did you bring with you? And Sean was like, not enough.
Right.
But then he says, did you bring the big woman,
yeah,
Brienne?
Yeah, I didn't get that. Damn it. He goes, big woman?
That's all he could think about.
Yeah. Well, they have the same hair up top.
Yeah.
Look how red his beard is, but look how blonde his hair is. Mm-hmm. It's probably kind of a reddish, like a light red, but that is, it's weird how people do that. That's a thing, though. People have different colored beard hair than they do their face. Like, my beard is a little darker than well, I'm bald, but it's blonde on the top there. It's probably, one time I was playing tennis with my friend, and she, somehow I referred to myself as being blonde, and she goes, blonde? You're bald? And I was like, you fucking bitch. Yeah. No, we're good buddies. We're equals in tennis, and that's all that matters. We were hoping some of your men could. So anyway, they're basically saying like, all right, we need to go get some White Walkers. We got to bring someone back. We got this. This is a pretty tough mission, though. This is an interesting deal here. You're not the only ones. Oh yeah. So turns out, look who they captured. Old Hound, who doesn't like being cold, and Beric Dondarrion and Thoros of Muir, who is the Lord of the Light.
Prefers being cold better than being next to fire.
Probably, yeah. I suppose that's probably true. He likes a blanket. Blanket's as close as he wants to get to fire. They want to go beyond the wall too, and then Gendry immediately. So now all these different storylines kind of collide here in sort of a spaghetti fight.
So if you recall, the last time Gendry saw the Brotherhood without banners, they basically betrayed him and sold him to the Red Woman, to Stannis Baratheon.
So she wanted to sacrifice him.
Yes,
because
he uses king's blood.
He has Baratheon blood in him. Yeah, and
so Gendry does not trust them, does not want them to be giving any kindness, but in a time of war, when your enemy is huge and you have potential allies in front of you, you have to say, regardless of politics, regardless of reasons why you're here, know that we are all on the same side in general, therefore we must work together.
Correct. Even Jorah recognizes them, though, too.
And they recognize Jorah.
Right. So they all kind of know each other. And the one guy's complaining because he's a boozer and he's going through alcohol withdrawal, so he's like, won't even let me drink. Turns out Mormont, these guys have a little moment where, because he used to fight with Mormont. Mormont was a hunter.
Well, Mormont was the last...
the bear, they called him.
Well, he was the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
Yeah. That's
and he hunted down the wildlings.
Right.
So he's saying that I was no friend of your father, and he's basically saying, you know what, you did the same thing to the crows.
Yeah.
Not my people, but the crows.
And they've all kind of, even though they have these grudges, they're sort of setting their grudges aside to deal with this bigger issue, which is probably nice. Maybe they'll finally, like when Earth finally gets invaded by aliens, we'll stop squabbling amongst each other over fucking stupid shit like skin color and religion, and then we'll fight aliens and we'll be racist against the aliens, and that'll be okay because they're all going to be fucking monsters and they deserve, take that squid monster. I can't wait. I really hope it happens.
It'll be like Mass Effect.
Just like video game Mass Effect. Okay. All right, so they all have... Oh, yeah, so like, we're all going to the wall there, or all want to get north. I'm not sure. So one of them said the Lord of the Light wants them to go up there, but do they know what they're looking for? Do we know what they're looking for? Why are they going north of the wall?
Well, because of the vision that the Hound saw in the fire, the flickering flames. He saw Eastwatch by the sea and the army of the dead, so they were being called there.
That's right, I forgot about that. Well, the guy who's been drinking all day knows a lot more about what's going on than I do. Whether we know it or not, they're in the same. Are you coming with you? Okay. All right. Oh yeah, this is the line. I like this. John's like, well, we're all on the same side, and despite the fact that half of them are in prison right now, and they all kind of hate each other a little bit.
Depending on which side you're on, they're both in prison.
Oh my God, aren't we all? Aren't we all imprisoned by our own minds?
Yes.
In a way, our own biases. The side of the breathing. We're all breathing. That's true. That's right. That's on the same side. So they all agree. We're going to go on a mission. We're going to go get a White Walker. Or
a White.
Oh, yeah, I mean a White.
Or Benjen.
I think they're going to get it. One of them's going to come back as a white, and it's going to be...
I hope it's not Tormund.
I think it'll be Jorah. That's my prediction. It might be the man bun.
I would be ticked off of it.
I'd like to see a white with a man bun. That'd be fun.
But then the Lord of Light could just bring him back.
No, he is the Lord of Light. No, I mean, no.
He is the what?
No, he's no.
He's the one that conducts the thing that brings back the other guy.
That's why he can't be brought back, because someone else has to be the...
Which one is Sir Beric Dondarrion?
Dondarrion. That's probably this one right here.
Okay.
It's hard to tough and bind. That looks like Gendry.
Yeah,
that's the Hound. No, but I'm saying he's not the Lord of Light. I don't think he's the Lord. But he conducts the ceremony. It's like you can't get married unless you have a priest.
He's the conduit for the power of the Lord of Light in our world.
Therefore, if he dies...
by our world, I mean their world.
He'd need to... Yeah, he wouldn't be someone else. Okay.
He's the Lord of Light medic.
Yeah, he's like one of those Scientology auditors.
He's the Lord of Light crash cart.
Yeah. You ever watch those Scientology documentaries? Man, I can't get enough of them. So fucking interesting. It's so amazing. Can't believe that's a thing.
Yeah.
All right. That's crazier than your disdain for seafood. Do you hate seafood worse or something? No, I'm not asking you to hate something. We don't hate anybody. All right, so then the thing opens and it's really shitty. Boy, bad weather, huh? Windy and rain, snow, frozen rain. Jon looks back and goes, "All right, guys, here we go. Off we go." The Hound all wearing cold clothing, and man, I bet it's comfortable when you're in the cold. I bet this nice fur on your. I bet it feels nice in your ears. I like it when my ears are nice. You know, I miss having a woman touch my face. It's been a while, and I'm really. All right. Oh yeah, and they've got this dudes that have to drag stuff. I thought that was funny too, that these are like the heroes, like the captains get to walk out all badass, but they also have to have some schmucks, some low levels just dragging shit behind them. Like no horses.
It's kind of messed up. Well, a horse would probably die in that condition.
Not if you wrap it in fur. It's already wearing fur.
Yeah.
All right, so there they go, and yeah, this is the hero march.
Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, it is kind of. Off they go. They've got man buns. They've got weapons. They're going to be fine. And they disappear into the white as the camera lifts up above their heads. Black screen, co-producers, Oliver Butler, and Anik Wolkin. Hey, Wolkin. Maester Wolkin? Is that it? He's woke. James, call me Wokahontas.
What?
All right, guys. So that's it. We got to the end. So, James, did you enjoy this episode?
I did. Yeah. I mean, it's Game of Thrones. I mean... There's always a little bit of disappointment when an episode ends, because you always want for there to be more that happens, because you always hyper aware that the season is coming to an end so quickly because there's so few episodes left.
Are there 3 left?
This was 5. I think there's only 7 episodes.
7? So there's 2 left?
There might be 8. I'm not sure.
So 2 or 3?
Yeah, not many.
That is sad. So where do you think this season's going to end then? Or is it too early to talk about that?
I'd have to Google it. Along with my Sun Tzu pronunciation.
Sun Tzu. What did I say?
You're saying...
Sun Tzu. It's always been pronounced Sun Tzu's Art of War. Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu is what you were saying before.
Yeah, Sun Tzu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like a breed of dog to me, but...
Yeah, Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
Or as James would call it...
Poodoo.
A stuffed Tzu. Yeah,
Poodoo.
Poodoo. I think it is probably Sun Tzu. But also, who gives a shit?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Well, next episode. Do you think the next episode is going to be... We're going to see this mission here?
Well, I think it's going to probably be a main focus of it, absolutely.
Okay.
Because we saw in the teaser trailer for this whole season, they kept cutting back to this group in the snow, but you can never really tell who they were. You couldn't see faces or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the rest of the season is going to pivot around what these guys accomplish in the north.
Well, and this is the main thing that has to happen to advance the story. Like, what other storylines are being... Like, Dorne is pretty much turned... Like, that's no longer... That spigot has been turned off. The High Garden is turned off. The Grey Worm, we're going to see a little bit more of him.
Citadel's done.
Somehow getting back. The Citadel, yeah, probably won't be any more there. Sam is heading... Where's Sam headed to?
Sam is presumably going back to his...
Winterfell, I would assume.
Yeah, probably because he needs to get the information with the scrolls and everything to Jon, and he knows Jon's... As far as he knows, Jon's at Winterfell.
I still think there's going to be something going on with Sam inheriting his family's house.
I don't see how that's really relevant at this point, though.
Yeah, but they withheld it from him, though. I agree. Like, it makes sense.
Maybe in, like, the epilogue, when the whole next season ends, there might be, like, a little after credit saying, Sam went on to inherit a great fortune with the Tarlys.
Right. When they do that kind of, like, nice music with everybody. Like, this guy became a mailbox. This guy became the king of the thing. This woman, you know... became the queen of Dairy Queen. She started milking cows. Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. there's no other storylines other than Grey Worm. Kind of. We didn't see anything about him. He's not dead.
We finally got Gendry out of the ocean.
Yeah, we'll find out what Cersei's plan is. She's got some. She's going to try to pull some fast ones on Daenerys with this meeting that might happen. But they got to get the evidence first. They got to bring back a white. So yeah, we're going to see a lot more of this one.
Hopefully. Yeah, I mean, this episode did not have epic moments like the last one, but it was still a decent episode. It moved things along. It was entertaining. You know, it served a purpose.
We got some great shots of the dragon. I always like seeing those close-ups. Those are always pretty cool. I'm just glad they're doing this show now and doing those effects, because like 10 years ago, that dragon would have looked like that Sean Connery movie with the what was it called? Sean
Dragonheart.
Dragonheart?
Yes.
It's Dragonheart. Man, I usually can do a decent Sean Connery because it's a hacky impression, but I can't do him right now.
I can do a much better one when he dies. Silence.
Yeah. Oh, I think you meant like the moment he dies.
No.
You want to hear my impression of Pierce Brosnan dying? Why did I go with Pierce Brosnan? That's random.
I don't know.
All right.
It's a Bond as well.
Oh yeah, double O Bond. Yeah, that's how that worked. Thanks for figuring it out. All right, well, hey, everybody, that's it. Hit us up on Twitter. James, tell him happy birthday. I mean, people,
happy birthday, everybody.
No. People, you tell James happy birthday on Twitter at VideoJamesSP.
By the time they see this, it'll be too late.
James, it's never too late to share joy and love, okay? But we're going to get him on Twitter eventually. And meanwhile, like, subscribe. Consider our Patreon, which, again, not even possible.
Twitter's like seafood.
How dare you? It's filled with crawling crabs and Twitter is what you make of it. You can make it just... Like if you're just into like model train building, there's Twitter for that. You can just follow those accounts.
I subscribed to a Twitter account.
Yeah,
I subscribed to the one for this neighborhood to make, because there was one that had like news and stuff going on, and then like because I thought that's all it was for. But then all night long my phone goes ding ding ding, and I get up, holy crap, what's going on? And I check my phone and it's like so and so liked a comment about crab fishing. It's like, what? This is
well,
stupid.
That's obviously not the intended use. I mean, that's on you for not using it properly.
For subscribing to one Twitter feed is not using it properly? I thought that's the whole point of Twitter.
Being frustrated. What, you only allowed to subscribe to one feed?
No, but I thought that I would assume that when you subscribe to a feed that has a purpose that's tailored to a certain use, you wouldn't get all this other nonsensical stuff.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Set up your notifications differently. It's not because that's not like that. Everybody on Twitter does exactly that and they like it. It's that you can customize it to your interests. If you're into politics, you follow politics. If you're into being a troll, you do that. There's a lot of people do that. If you're into video games, you just do Twitter with video games. Like you can go to the channel, you can go to different outlets.
Well, the point is that I subscribe to a channel that's supposed to have news about the neighborhood I live in.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's like 2% that and 98% other nonsense I don't give a crap about. Yeah. And I keep getting notifications of things I don't care about, so I probably just need to stop following that one.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. It's pretty straightforward. You don't have to like Twitter, by the way. I'm not going to convince you of that. I'm just sad you don't like seafood, because we could go out and get sushi, and you and I could have a great time.
Gross.
Raw eggs?
Well, eggs is that's not really seafood.
If it comes out of a fucking fish's vagina hole, it is seafood. How's caviar? Like because it's called.
When you say eggs, you need to say roe. Because when you say egg, I think chicken egg.
But after I said the word sushi, I just assumed you understood. Because they do actually put chicken eggs in sushi, but they like form them into weird little yellow chunks. But they do put roe on them, and they color them green and orange and red, and you bite them into them individually, and they pop in your mouth. It's pretty fun. They're tiny.
Well, I'm gonna go throw up now.
it's just another different type of protein. It's no grosser than a fucking McNugget.
Actually, you talk about my McNuggets.
Actually, it's way healthier than a McNugget, by the way. In fact, I could go for some McNuggets, and maybe we should go to McDonald's, James, if you're interested.
No, I gotta pass out. It's quite late for me.
All right, I'll bring McNuggets and put them in your sleeping mouth. All right, bye everybody. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed our videos, and we'll see you in the comments, and we'll see you next week. Bye, James.
Goodbye.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Bye.